Welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson podcast. We're a bunch of mega fans giving you the news discussion and, of course, all opinions about Brandon's works and the Cosmere. I'm Eric, and joining me is Ian.
Hey, I'm Weary Writer, and this is the first time I'm saying this today.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Also joining us with slightly less bells is Evgeny.
Hi! I have been I have been mildly debelled, unbelled, bellent. Hey, bellent is a word. I found out that out of my box of beard ornaments, the vast majority don't actually work and don't actually jingle.
Nice.
So I've put in the only 4 that do. I'm not gonna keep this for long. Fear not. I know it's a thing.
As much as I want the engagement that happens with people complaining about the bells, which I do definitely want that.
Yeah, well,
we should probably not.
We're gonna see what analytics shows, but I'll keep this only for a little bit.
Great.
And then we're gonna go raw.
Great. Good. Well, we can't cut anything now, so that's great. Also joining us is Matt.
Hey everyone, Matt, Comatose Online.
Hey.
Nice to be here. Hey.
And also, lastly, but certainly not least, we have Ian.
Hello, I'm Aeon in the Places.
And I am Chaos, and today, everyone, we are going to talk about Dragonsteel Nexus 2025. We're going to talk about our thoughts, the announcements of that. We're also going to talk about State of the Sanderson. So if you're here solely for State of the Sanderson, prepare to wait, because we're going to talk about Nexus first. So
just pop up your cadmium bubble, and we'll be right there.
That's right. And so first, I think we want to show off merch from the con. This is the show and tell section of the show, right?
Mm-hmm. So, and Light Day. Light Day happened. Some of us bought from Light Day.
Oh, I already showed off the umbrella that I got for Light Day, so I've already done that.
I don't think I've been on since Light Day.
Yeah, no, I don't think you have. We have this guy. So this is the physical edition of King Lopen, the First of Alethkar. And, flip it over, and then there's Elscholar. And so these were the things from the story decks. There was also Chasm Friends, and we're going to talk about that later, because they're doing something else for that. No, YouTube, it's not a time for to insert ads. No, we're not doing that. No.
We should establish spoiler policy for this stream.
Oh, yeah, that's probably good.
I don't think we've established that internally. Let's do it live.
Great,
what do we want to do?
We are not going to be talking about the Fires of December preview reading. That is going to be a different episode. So definitely not that.
We probably don't need to talk about Ember Dark.
Probably not. It's technically in spoiler period still.
I guess the question is, do we want this to be non-spoilers, or do we want like our standard, hey, if it's been out for a little while, it's fine?
I think we'll probably talk about the Hoid storybook things in a little bit. But it's going to be pretty spoiler light, I think. But
yeah, I think we shouldn't have much reason to touch on many big spoilers about things. But yeah, for some
we'll
stuff,
talk about
I think
some
we
things.
can yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What other merch we got?
I'll go.
Hell
because
yeah.
I bought one of the ties.
Ooh, nice.
Which has all of like the world symbols on it.
That's pretty nice, actually. That's quite nice.
Which was not particularly clear in the image on the website, so I got it. It's like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
I also bought a bunch of the character pins that were available through Light Day, including all of the ones that have weird size backs, which I found very annoying. But luckily, friend of the podcast, Carly from Dragonwood Shop.
So, yeah.
Like, they've been interviewed on the channel. They're a friend of the show as far as I'm concerned. Is making a custom display for the Series 3 pins with all of their strange shapes.
Carly,
because I have Series 1 and 2 pins on the wall behind my desk.
Carly's a gem, for sure. Oh, I guess I did buy from Carly some of the legally distinct, definitely not a cryptic bookend that had a color swap. But I don't know where those are, and so I'm not going to show them off on stream. So that'll be for another time.
Okay. Well, I will do some show and tell then. First of all, we're gonna leave Keep Venture.
Okay. Oh,
we have left Keep Venture.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a speed of light delay on that usage of transportation? Sorry.
Well,
that doesn't matter.
There's no beam. There's no beam in the background though. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It used to be. Yeah, I did.
The perpendicularity. That's right.
My shades a little bit. Yeah. So the hole is now a little bit here, instead of here. Anyway, that's not important. So I did really well at Nexus on the merch front, where I really resisted the pull to buy all of the things.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I slipped, and once you slip once, it becomes easier to slip again.
How much art did you buy?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's actually not that much. Like
Okay.
I legitimately did not spend that much money, but I thought I was going to spend even less. I blame Marvin partially because he bullied me into buying a piece of art, and because he bought one, and then it was like a getaway drug into
a
other
getaway
things.
drug?
So, a gateway drug. Sorry, I combined getaway car with gateway drug.
Nice.
Look, hey,
Good.
you're not allowed to bully me. I am not a native speaker. That's actually very rude of you. Anyway,
Okay.
so here we're gonna do this.
Ooh. Okay. Ooh.
This is the piece of art that I was bullied into buying.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And I think it looks really great.
That does look quite
and
good.
then,
It does.
of course, because it is so good, I went and followed that up with
This is very good.
a print of the new cover of Warbreaker by Dan Dos Santos.
Who was the original cover artist? So, a new Warbreaker cover? I think that cover looks really good.
It's also technically signed, but you
Hell
can't really
yeah.
see this.
Nice.
But anyway, this looks great. And that is all I purchased.
Oh,
However,
that's not that bad.
that is not all I came home with.
Oh.
I did the thing that I do every con, which is spend most of my time in the exhibitors hall and go talk to my artists, friends, acquaintances, artists that I've hired or commissioned for art on the podcast. And this time they gave me little presents, or at least some of them did. And so you might recognize this by Jessica Parker, that we
That's so
commissioned a few months ago, and I got a little print of that for free.
Patreon.com/17shard. You can vote on things monthly that Argent will personally commission for the fandom
It's
as
Omi.
a whole.
It is.
And
I mean, it's Omi.
It is. And you can join for as little as $1 a month for awesome art. And it is very cool walking through the exhibitor hall, like, oh, hey, we commissioned that. That's cool.
Then I got another similar freebie that is technically from Rhythm of War, so I'm not gonna talk about it because the visual by itself is not enough to like identify any spoilers. But it's
Nice.
this thing.
Very good.
And then
You
the
mean
final.
Wind and Truth?
I did mean Wind and Truth. Oopsies.
We're doing it live.
That's by Emily E. Draws.
Nice.
Who is, much like all of the other artists, a lovely person. And then Ashley Code, who might be doing a commission for us soon, but that's not set in stone. Was doing little like sketches, illustrations on at her booth, and I got one of those. of this handsome man.
That's good.
That's been penetrated by spears.
That's good.
It's based on a Ben McSweeney, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's based, but it's certainly inspired by. There's a very iconic Ben McSweeney illustration.
Lord
And if you don't know
Ruler,
who Ashley Code is, you might be familiar with this piece, and also others. So that's my art haul. I do have some other things that are more ball related, but we'll talk about those later.
Yeah, that's true. I did buy a dice bag, and my wife and I may have bought too many sets of dice. That's true. But we got these pretty gemstone dice, you know. Had to get some red because now I'm playing, you know, a Dustspringer in Stormlight RPG, which is very fun. We may have bought 17 sets of dice, guys. We might have.
That's a lot of dice. I didn't know it was that many. That's a lot of dice.
I think we need a 17 emoji, just the number 17.
We thought it was only 7, but then we're like, oh, but there was the dice advent calendar, and then there was so they weren't all expensive dice. So it's fine. And also this tower here holds dice. It's a dice tower back here.
Nice.
It's actually very cool. It actually shines different colors here.
Oh, that is really cool.
And it's also a dice tower, and so I think we need to let's see what I roll. Yeah, I got a 4. Great work.
Great. Okay.
Very good.
Failure.
Cool. Nice. So that's we did. We did that. The dice bag, I think I want like a dice case. I don't know. Like, Ian, is this a problem with dice bags? That it's like, I don't know. It just like doesn't totally cinch shut. And I worry the dice are going to fall. I don't know.
I don't think that's a universal problem of dice bags. I think that may be a problem with that dice bag.
Like it's fine. It's just like, you know, if I can, you know, this is just, it's slightly worrying that a die could fall, you know. But it's a nice quality dice bag, but cool. So that's merch.
Did Ian get anything?
Yeah, what did you get? Ian?
Yes, I have things to show and tell.
Oh, great.
Most
Fantastic.
of which are not official merchandise. I'm going to show you a piece of official merchandise that I got recently.
Yes.
And you guys are going to guess what it actually is, like where it's actually, at least just what it's actually from. Here you go.
It is from the sun.
Oh, I do know what this is.
Anyway,
from.
I do not know what that is.
You guys have some time to guess what that is while I show off some other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, was that just a green cube?
Yes.
Okay.
And now, anyway. This is not an official Dragonsteel thing. This is a bookmark that I purchased, which is the light is shining on it.
Hello.
Which has,
yeah, that's
very
good.
cool.
I believe that artist is not yet on my list. I've seen the art. If you have their info, send it to me.
Argent would like to be made more aware of this artist.
I like all art equally.
Nice.
And have no preferences for artists that draw Yasna.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I also got I purchased a few things at the convention, but I also was part of an exchange that a bunch of other people were participating in that's free to participate in if you want to, called World Swappers.
Oh, yes, you did.
Where just basically a bunch of people make crafts of various kinds or 3D print things or just a bunch of different kinds of ways that people do it. And I got some very cool things. I got a lot of very cool things that I can't show them off here.
It's honestly insane that I'm like, oh, you didn't get that much of a like, no, you did a lot actually. And I just forgot like an idiot. Nice.
Yeah, no, I brought back a lot. This is one of my favorite things. That's
Oh,
a
that's
Marewell flower.
cute.
That's a
Oh, that's
little
cute.
clip.
Oh, that's real nice, actually.
This was by Tessellations.
Ooh.
Oh,
had this there.
Tessellations. Yes.
And then these two items, I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly who gave me these. I was talking to a lot of people.
There's so many
but
people
one
at the
of
con.
them
Yeah.
is a glass cut Night Radiant Order. This one's Skybreaker. This one also happens to be Skybreaker. Wood seared symbol.
I also
Okay.
have some World Swappers stuff that people gave to me, but I don't know where they are.
Nice.
So I'm sure you're all desperately curious about the mystery of the green
Yeah,
cube.
what is that?
That is from the Reckoners board game
Okay.
that came out a while ago, before I was like really in the fandom.
Like over a decade
And
ago at
some
this
of the-
stage?
Some of the component
Almost.
pieces
Okay.
look like that. And I also there is a metal
Ooh.
Steelheart figure.
Okay, that's
of he
pretty sick.
himself.
That's pretty sick, guys.
Yeah.
You gotta have the steel heart.
The Reckoners board game is on sale right now. It's by Novo Games. If anyone wants to get it, we don't know if this is a final sale, but it's a pretty big sale, and it says warehouse sale, and it's possible that it's a final sale. So if you really want the Reckoners board game or any of its like side items, this might be a good time to go get those, because they are on a really big sale, and it is possible that this is it.
Nice.
I would recommend. I don't know what shipping looks like, but there is a promo pack that you can purchase for $5 right now. I don't know what shipping looks like, but $5 gives you a few cards, but more importantly, the Untold Epics little booklet, which comes with art and descriptions of some like 20-ish epics, I believe, one of which is the Sandman.
That's funny.
Can we open up? Can we find the Sandman, Ian?
You didn't expect
I can
Reckoners stuff
try to
on
find
this
the
stream,
Sandman,
but that's what you're getting. Nice.
I believe people might find something interesting in. Oh, we have a Jess.
There's also a
Jess says hi.
Kingmaker in here. Are you sure there's a Sandman?
It might not be called
There
the
is
Sandman.
at least a card.
Is it-
for...
Oh, Quicksand. Quicksand.
Is it Quicksand? Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Quicksand.
Needs to be a little more legally distinct there, Evgeny.
Anyway,
Which,
so
okay, it's all reversed on here, but you might recognize.
Yeah, is
the
that just
face
yeah,
a little bit.
it's a little blurry, but
No,
the
it's
liking of Quicksand.
Win
might-
Bushman,
Oh, okay.
which I believe is Emily's dad.
Win.
Or-
No,
Win
Win
is Brandon's middle name, and Bushman is Emily's
Okay.
middle name.
It's their.
Oh, okay, so
it's their
they
dads.
just portmanteau.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I
It's both
did
of their
meet
dads,
Brandon's
okay.
dad in the elevator, which was surreal. Actually,
That's. I also met him in the like.
Yeah,
Were we in the same elevator, or did we
no,
meet him in the
this
elevator
is a
separately?
totally different time. You were not there, Evgeny.
Okay, so I guess we just kept meeting Brandon's dad.
Yeah, he
in
was around.
elevators.
Cold 12U in chat. There was a Reckoners board game. Yes, there was. There was also an expansion called Steel Slayers. So, like, the base game is the story of book one. Steel Slayer adds like content from Firefight and Calamity.
Nice.
But that's my recommendation. I think $5 and hopefully shipping is reasonable is a decent amount of money to pay for this little piece of memorabilia, and you get to own Quicksand forever.
Jess brought me the legally distinct different pattern bookends. They're extremely cool. So this was apparently the original color scheme that Carly wanted to do, but couldn't get the suppliers. So these will look awesome on my white bookshelf. Shout out Dragonwood Shop. We love them. here. Carly's fantastic.
We love
she
them.
had a great booth. She had a huge booth.
Busy all the time.
So busy.
Also, speaking of Dragonwood Shop, because I'm looking at the beautiful postcard displays
Yes.
she sold for my Year of Sanderson postcards, but I heard there were more released
Yes. That's
this
true.
year, and like, oh, I want those.
Yep.
Yeah, it's,
which means Carly, you need to bring back the postcard displays. I will buy more.
I'm sure that that will be on her agenda. Speaking of merch, did any of us who went to the con get Tailored Realities?
Yeah.
Oh,
It is
okay.
just upstairs in my library.
I can grab it, but
Yeah, that
it's not on
sounds
the
like too
shelf,
much
but
work.
yes.
I didn't.
It's
Yeah, so Tailored Realities
right there.
is an anthology that exists.
Yeah, and that's and you know the con
The stories
was
in
packed.
it are decent. They're good.
Well, maybe
I've
do an
read them.
episode in 2026 about it.
It's possible that I'm the only person on this podcast who has read all of the 3 stories, any of the 3 stories.
That
You
might be
might be the only person in general.
the only person.
Okay, that's not true. We know that's not true.
No,
But
I mean,
it's gotten a lot less. I mean, I don't think any of us expected it to get a lot of discussion, but it's gotten less than I expected.
Yeah.
Even less than. Which, to be fair, I get like the pre-orders are still being fulfilled, I think. But yeah, it's the stories are they're pretty good. They're decent.
Nexus doesn't need a big book release to be a very
No.
busy con. Clearly,
No.
Tailored
and
Realities
therefore
definitely shows
they should decouple Nexus from book releases.
that.
But
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think they like that part of it.
I think.
oh no,
Brandy
they do.
maybe likes
They
that
do.
part
I
of
think
it.
they're just wrong.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Tailored Realities, and I've read some of these at some point.
Yeah, but not the news stories. Exclusive to Tailored Realities. Now from Torbo.
I've read all the stuff that's was available elsewhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Some of which I've very enjoyed, and one of them is the worst thing Brandon has ever written.
Maybe we do need to do a show so you can complain about it. Hey.
Snapshot is bad, guys. I
We'll
don't
talk about
like
it. We'll talk about Snapshot
Ooh,
later in
wow.
this episode. In this
The
stream.
worst.
That's true. We will talk about Snapshot later in this. That's true. What do you guys want to talk about for at least the 3 of us who are at Nexus? Just Nexus thoughts. Now that we've done the extensive show and tell section.
Yeah. I want to know why the outline says, for Eric, sheep.
Oh, I'm glad you ask. You're not supposed to necessarily read that on air, but a person in a sheep onesie ran around and it said, tag, my name is Molly. And gave a little sheep and said, remember me. And that's it. And then ran away.
Oh.
You can see why I wanted to mention it. That's good.
Brutal.
I'm like, why is this relevant? To
They're-
anything? Like, oh yeah, that's why it's relevant.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
also
Wind and truth.
there was a,
If
there
you
was
know,
a-
you know.
There was a Zeth cosplayer who ran around with a little sheep plushie.
Oh, I did see that as well. Yes, that's true. The cosplay was fantastic. There was so much good cosplay. 10 out
So
of
much
10.
good cosplay.
Oh
Yes,
my
I agree.
goodness, guys.
I couldn't attend the cosplay showcase, which I think is always excellent. I do hope that they post like pictures and photos of that. They did last year, so I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these. Cheese plate is unfortunately something that I also saw. Yes. I
Was it
think
actual
I think
cheese?
one of the it was not actual cheese, but it
Okay.
was someone in
Nice.
in
Very
Shard Blade
Shardblade resistant.
Yeah. It was very niche, and I'm like, my life is diminished for having seen this, but also great job. There was a Krennic Shaw cosplay
That's true.
that I think was really clever and really cool. But yeah, I don't. we shouldn't talk about cosplay that much.
Yes.
Because we will never end.
That is true. We will. Oh yes, there was someone dressed as Design from.
There were several designs.
Yes, this one had a fake ramen bowl and everything. It was really good.
Most of them did.
Well, the one that I kept repeatedly seeing like 3 times. That was that same person.
Yeah, Adelin's Taylor. Yes, Axe makes an excellent point. There were 3 people who collectively cosplayed as Adelin's tailors, and they were really, really. It was just such a clever idea. I loved it.
That was good. Yeah, but con was good. I thought the app was is fine, I guess. I wish the stuff in the app I could access on the web without needing to constantly log in, and I could look at the schedule. That would have been nice, but
yes.
Yeah.
It would also been nice if the schedule was like laid out instead of just being like a long list.
Yeah, they took away schedule at a glance. They had an email with the schedule at a glance, which is very good, and then they removed it.
Yeah. One of my Nexus feedback points was I liked schedule at a glance better than whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and the app
it was very useful last year.
Yeah. What the app also needed was a way to put in your own items so you could actually use the schedule thing consistently. Like, so if you're meeting someone for lunch, then you can put it in there rather than making a separate calendar and needing to copy everything into your calendar so you don't forget things.
Yeah, so like custom events.
Yes. Which the web app actually had some text and implied you could, but you couldn't actually do that. So
it also would have been nice if the app actually worked for everyone's phones, because if your phone was old enough, by like just a few years, you couldn't download it at all.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the app, so I can't really review it other than, wow, I wish it was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is clearly not like Dragonsteel did not build this.
No,
this is
yeah. I don't think they like made the choice to.
No.
Just if they have an option of apps, or at least of putting everything on the app also on the website or something, somewhere easily accessible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But hopefully that's something they iterate on. We probably don't need to spend too much time on the app itself.
No.
A couple of announcements for next year's. One, I'll say I like this part of the convention center a lot more than the other one.
That was so much better.
I think that's pretty much a universal opinion.
Yes.
I think everyone at Dragonsteel liked it better. Everyone who attended liked it better.
Yeah.
The layout was nicer.
The exhibitor hall was so much nicer. A lot more space.
They had so much more room.
It was really good.
That's
and you could really feel that. Like the con felt busy, but not like cramped. For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
The dates and hotels for next year's, for 2026 Nexus, are live. I believe December 3rd to December 5th. The first Thursday through Saturday of December, whatever that lines up being.
Yep.
And the group codes. The group codes for the hotels are also up. So if you want to reserve a room and attend, now is a good time to do that.
Yep. Yeah, and then there was a different con game. So last year they had the story deck stuff, and they did not have more of that, which I was actually a little surprised. I thought they would continue to do that, but they did something different this year.
Like, I can understand them not doing that every year.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot to do. Yeah, for sure.
I think they definitely are going to do more in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, maybe not every year.
Did they have like packs of cards available for sale even, like at the shop?
I believe on the third day they brought out the last of their boxes, and they said this was the last story deck stock of the Lost Tales, the Stormlight Lost Tales specifically, that would ever be printed, or at least that they had plans to. I didn't get one. This is what I have heard was they brought it out on the last day. it was gone in a couple hours.
I imagine so. This certainly sold out every single day. And they kept needing to get more.
I did not get there quickly enough for that one.
Yeah, they haven't posted like ebook version of that.
No, there's no ebook version.
They've put the physical up on the Dragonsteel store, but no, they have not done an ebook.
Yeah.
And I have not heard any announcements, although I have to believe that they will.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the convention game was not Story Deck.
Yep.
What it was like, I guess let's rewind a little. This is something they had kind of been building up to, with a bunch of social media posts and earlier conventions in the year, kind of building the story of the Silverlight Bureau of Interperpendicularity. I forget.
Commerce?
I'm not sure.
Not
something
commerce.
like that.
Bureau of isn't it a Bureau?
Do you
of
have the booklet on
Perpendicularity?
you?
I do have the booklet. Where does it say that?
In Interrealmic Transport.
It's some nonsense. I don't like it. Silverlight Bureau of Perpendicularity Regulations and Interrealm Mounting Transport.
I think it's intentionally a bit much.
I mean, yes, yes, it is.
They were building up the story of some characters, some OCs, if you will, in this this bureau
organization.
Yes, in this organization, and the mysteries that they were trying to solve kind of built this up over a few events, and then at Dragonsteel had booklets, which there were 4 different mission tracks that you could do, which had different puzzles. You had booklets with puzzles to solve. Argent's got some there, which are phasing in and out a little.
Well, nice. It's the perpendicularity has effects on.
Sure, of course.
Of course. They had different puzzles to solve, and then you went to stations scattered around the convention center to get stickers that you would paste into the books with bits of story on them, and then and they had them kind of spread out over the days, so you were intended to do them across the days, and in some cases had to wait to do them.
Sounds like a lot of work.
And then it actually was. It was a lot of. It took a lot of time. I think the most time was taken in walking around to all of the different stations, because it wouldn't be like, for most of them at least, it wouldn't be like go to any station. It would be go to this specific station in this specific part of the convention center. And so there was a lot of walking around, as well as some walking around to see various puzzle clues and stuff that you had to translate. And then a lot of standing in lines, waiting at the stations too, because everyone else was also doing it and needing to go to specific stations. And then the reward at the end of it was a keychain. Oh, and they had little cardboard tokens, which were part of it, which you would pull one out at random, and it would say whether you had a success or failure. And if you had a failure, you still continued on with the game. But you had to like do a little condition, like speak in a funny accent for the next little while, stuff like that. I'm not explaining it very well.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
It was interesting.
Yeah. So
the puzzles.
So like the game was basically just do this booklet and end in lines. And okay.
Yes.
More or less. A fair number of the puzzles were stuff like go to this location and translate this sign on the wall, or at least it was for Scadrial. I'm assuming. I think I saw script ones around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was fun. The puzzles were mostly fun. I enjoyed doing them with friends and stuff, except for the fact that a bunch of them had errors and really should have been checked over maybe another time beforehand.
And
but
the
aside
lore is
from
not continuity checked, for sure.
That as well. That as well.
Yeah.
But when the puzzles did work, they were fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
I found the game. So I'm of two minds of this game. On one hand, I found this way more fun than last year's trade. I mean, like the trading had its own charm, but there was pressure to like complete, the set and all of that stuff. This was like I like puzzles, right? And a lot of these puzzles were, translated thing or like a very Sudoku like kind of, grid kind of puzzles or connect the lines kinds of puzzles, things like that. Which I found very fun. The reason I feel weird about it is because it was time consuming. And while it was fun, I'm like, I want to go to panels. I want to hang out with friends. I want to meet with people. I want to do all of these things that I can only do physically while I am at the con. And like I still plan to go through the booklets that I have and like see what I can solve just because they are, fun puzzles. But I wish I could get access to like the little story thing that was going. Like later on, I saw, and I think this would have been a lot of fun. I saw people like they had to come together and like combine their booklets to solve certain clues, and that was when it
The backs
worked.
of them.
Clever, yeah.
Yes.
I think for people who were maybe a little less social, or had that would have
Didn't
been
know people.
not
Yeah.
ideal. But they had cool ideas that I just wish I could, everything is vying for your time at this con.
Yeah. Like
That's
like we've talked somewhat about like so far we've very focused on like the story deck half of the con game last year, which was a significant part, but like the actual booklet last year, it's like you got the cards by going to panels, like going to the game corner and like playing games with friends, like participating like in art stuff. Like so like that feels more integrated in like the con side of things.
Well, like
So like it would have been nice to like have done like a half and half sort of thing, where it's like have some puzzles, have some like you need to participate in events.
They did do a
blend
little
together
of
to
that.
get the full experience.
There was one page of it asks you to like go to a panel, go to the game room, go to the crafts.
Okay.
The thing with last year's is I understand the idea of wanting to encourage people to engage with different parts of the convention, but last year took it to like just such an extent of you have to go to so many panels in all of these different rooms, whether you wanted to go to panels there or not. And it was kind of like, it was a lot. I think asking people to go to one panel is reasonable. And then just, I think maybe my ideal version of this would be having options of fill out this many things, and you can fill out this many things by playing games with people, by doing crafts, by going to panels. But you can choose which ones you want to do.
Yeah.
Making the expectation not completionist, right? Like
making it so the expectation is do things.
Mm-hmm. But people get to choose what those things are that they want to do.
Yeah, and I think you can even balance that around different activities, like reward different amounts of whatever, right? Because attending a panel is like an hour commitment, but solving a puzzle like a Sudoku puzzle is potentially much less than that, right? So I do like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think there's a balance to be had. The exhibitor stamps. Maybe we should touch on that again this year.
Sure. We don't like exhibitor stamps.
Yeah. It was, I will give them this. It was better in that there was more room in the hall, so there was less crowding.
Definitely improved.
I believe the number of stamps you needed to get was smaller. There were a bunch of spots crammed on one page, but I think it might have still been less than last time.
Yeah, it was, I think it was like 25.
But, and also to their credit, one way that they tried to mitigate exhibitors getting rushed by a bunch of people at once was they had 2 of the tracks go there on day 1, and 2 of the tracks go there on day 2. But the thing was that with this was that, for one thing, people were still solving a lot of the puzzles from day 1 on day 2, because they were time consuming and people were doing a lot of things and all of this stuff. And then other people who were doing things ahead of time to try and get a head start, because again, there was a lot to do. And people were enjoying the puzzles and stuff. And none of the exhibitors really seemed to be checking for or enforcing which booklets they were stamping which days, which, to be clear, I absolutely do not blame them for.
You gotta stamp fast.
At all in the slightest. But yeah, that didn't really work out as an idea, I think, on yeah.
And there was a lot of
if the
lines.
exhibitor if the exhibitor stamps might work better, like not doing it as part of the game and more just doing it as, oh, I really like the 17th Shard booth. Can I get a stamp? You know, like just making it more optional, as like, if you want to log the people you interacted with, or like your favorites.
But that has nothing, like, that doesn't need to be organized by the con, right? We can make our own stamp and we can do that, right?
Yeah. Well, like, I just mean, like, you know, it's not, I can see the appeal of having like a space if you're doing like a con passport or a little booklet or a puzzle, like having a space for like stamps or signatures or whatever. Like that as a souvenir, I see some value in.
And
the first year had several pages at the back for that sort of thing, and this year had, I think, 1 page at the back. Whoa.
Yeah.
Nope.
That does not want to come through.
Keep venture. So first of all of Dragonsteel. But second, this one had a page for like Agent Arcanum, which a lot of people were using for like signatures and autographs and like special stamps, or like, this is my, you know, collector's, you know, I can put whatever I want on this page. And I think that worked out nicely.
And there was also just a lot of waiting in lines, it seemed like. Like it wasn't like last year where it was the one big trading tent that had the huge line. There were multiple places, but each of those lines were long.
Yeah.
It was nowhere as bad as last year.
True. For sure.
Last year, you could be in line for like 3 hours. This time, like, some of the lines were still long, but we are talking like 30 to 50 people, maybe not 200 people.
Yeah.
I was hearing that some lines did get capped and people had to just like come back later, but I did not encounter any of that myself.
Okay.
I think the fact that there were separate stations, a bunch of different separate stations that people were being sent to, helped with the line thing. It might have helped even more, and also just had less like walking around to do if you could just go to like any station at the end of each puzzle and stuff. When it sends you to a station, just go to a station.
Sure.
Yeah.
Instead of specific bottlenecks.
Definitely seems like they improved a lot of stuff. I find the con games really time consuming, so I don't know if I haven't done any of them, because I'm just like, I just don't have time. And I still feel like I missed a lot of things.
Yeah.
I do wish that they were less time consuming.
Well, I think they're just not for me, at least. I know a lot of people enjoy them a lot.
That's also fair.
Yeah.
But like, I wish that you could complete the game and not feel like you have to take a ton of your convention time just to complete it.
It should be adding to your campaign time. It should not be subtracting from your convention time.
I thought about this a lot when I was submitting feedback for Nexus, because I was like, something is not right about this convention game, and I want to figure out what it is. And I don't have a complete answer, but I think it's the idea of vying for time, right? I think the best case scenario is a convention game that offers you, like, if you're not interested in doing anything else in a specific day or a specific moment, the convention game gives you something to do.
Sure.
But not doing the convention game doesn't cause you to miss anything. And me not playing most of the convention game means that I missed, whatever story stuff was going on, whatever reward was at the end. So there's a balancing act there that I think is really, really difficult. They did better than last year.
I do want to give
they can
credit.
Still improve.
Yeah, I do want to give credit to Dragonsteel, for doing something different every year.
Yeah.
They're continuing to iterate. They're trying new things.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just. They didn't just pick. Okay, this is the format of the con game every year, and we're sticking to it, even though it has issues.
Yeah,
they're trying new things.
Yeah,
that have different issues, but that's still better than progress. Is better than no.
Yeah,
it's better than the same issues every time.
Yeah, and you can learn. You can look at, okay, these were the issues with the con game in 2024. These were the issues with the con game in 2025. So when we're planning the game for 2026, we can do something that avoids or mitigates both of those.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about the ball?
The highlight of the event?
Which I didn't go to because the thing with the ball is it was definitely more expensive. And with 2, it was pretty pricey. And notably, the ball did not instantly sell out this year. So that was an important note. They had to sell them to the public. Yes. And there were even slots where I could have gone the 3rd day if I was feeling missed out on day 2. So I don't know if they have totally filled out, but... Yeah.
So you did. Yeah. We were in the same session. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
We didn't see each other a whole lot, but we were in the same session.
Well, there were 700 other people.
Yes.
I have a lot of thoughts on the ball. Would you say you have a little, medium, or a lot of thoughts as well?
I would say that I also have a pretty high volume of thoughts.
Okay.
The majority of them quite positive.
I know Matt would love to know about the ball thoughts as a Final Empire.
So
I
want to know.
Let me in that case I will start, and I guess we'll find a way to trade so I don't speak for 20 minutes. So the World Hopper Ball this year was Mistborn themed, and it was kind of the idea of Elend and Vin's kind of first meeting, where Elend is reading a book on the balcony, and Vin accidentally runs into him, and they have a little meet cute. As you can see behind me, this is a photo of the setting. I highly encourage anyone with an Instagram account to go to Paladin Creatives Instagram page. They have a ton of photos and a ton of reels of the actual event, so you should be able to get a very good sense for what most of the things are or were.
There are also videos up on YouTube as well. Nice. Not necessarily from Paladin Creative, but various people have posted, so you should be able to get a few different POVs.
Yeah, nice. There's a lot of footage this year. I think last year was a little no one knew how much people were allowed to record. It feels like this year footage is everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's been nice. Yeah. So, but that's the idea, right? We got an actual proper ballroom, high ceiling, decor. So these things behind me, these 4 and this thing in the middle are all screens. And they were able to change that depending on what was happening.
So cool.
There is a very iconic scene in the first book where Vin bursts through a stained glass window, and they did their best to recreate that. They did a fog machine that misted up the stage, and then this window looked like it shattered as the Vin actress quote unquote burst through it on ropes. It was really, really effective. It was really well done.
Matt's dying right now. Just watch Matt's reaction.
Going in, we went through a tunnel that looked like Shadesmar, and then we emerged through an area that was decorated as the Pits of Hatsin. I automatically deduct 1 point from the entire ball experience because we were not immediately apprehended by inquisitors and obligators and put into slave work.
That's true.
We were able to just leave.
They might have gotten some criticism in the app, you know.
But the pits looked great, and then we emerged in this ballroom where, upon entering, we were able to take an envelope that revealed what kind of misting, or in rare cases mistborn, we were. At which point we could proceed to an obligator registration or a steel ministry or a ministry registration station where we could register ourselves with the steel ministry so that they know that there's a misting of the appropriate type of food. I was a thug. I was a Peter Arm.
That makes sense.
Other people were obviously other things.
I was a coin shot.
You were a coin shot, yeah. So we registered there. They gave us a little stamp. We could go get food and drinks that were themed around Final Empire stuff. The bay wraps were actually quite delicious. I liked those a lot.
Bay wraps.
So I didn't have the bay wrap. I had the stew that was after some obscure vegetable. But I liked it a lot better than last year. I don't know if that's just like personal preference and not necessarily food quality, but I liked it a lot better than last year's rock stew. Could take tips from Keep Venture on their stew.
As someone who didn't like any of the food at last year's World Hover Ball, that I like that. That sounds better.
I liked the food last year, but bay wraps.
They were great.
Stew
I genuinely. I would regularly eat those bay wraps if I could. They were delicious. So we could do that. You could get drinks as was the case last year. That they had like themed drinks and cocktails. After that, you had the ability to pay extra and spike your drink to give in to Ruin's influence and add alcohol to it. Which was fun. Drinks were fine, don't expect too much. And then we had a little bit of mingle time. We could explore the area. I don't have photos pulled up that are ready, but they had a lot of decor. So they had like hanging banners with like steel alphabet symbols. They had stained glass windows that depict with original art that depicted the history of the Final Empire, or not the Final Empire, but the history of Scadrial. So there was a stained glass window that depicted like classical Scadrial. There was a stained glass window that with like green fields and animals and stuff like that. They had a window depicting Rashek at the Well of Ascension. They had a window depicting like Kandra and Kolos and the Lord Ruler. They had kind of more modern. They had one of like an ash mount that looked great, and they had a couple of more that I don't remember at this moment.
They released the art for these at some point.
I haven't seen the art itself, but I think I have seen photos, and I certainly have photos.
Yeah, I have photos as well.
Matt needs
I
to
don't
see
know
the
if the
photos.
art from last year ever got posted.
Most of it did not. But we could explore that. There was a Kelsier's plan blackboard with that little scene, and you could go and sign that yourself, which was a lot of fun. They had like other kind of in-worldy looking art in there. They also had other out-of-worldy looking art, such as The Name of the Wind Premium Edition with illustrations from Dan Dos Santos. So
they also had. I want to make a joke about this. Overall, Paladin Creative's decorations very good. Oh wait, half of you have frozen up for me.
Oh no! Well, it doesn't matter.
No, never mind. You're good.
Here,
you're all
good.
good. Okay,
that is on your end.
Paladin Creative's like set and decorations and atmosphere, all of it was excellent. It was very good, and it was good last year too. But There were a couple of details. As Argent said, the name of the wind. I didn't spot that one specifically, but I believe you. A couple of details, including some of the pictures that they had up on the walls of Keep Venture, where they looked very... I don't know if this is what they were, but they looked like the founding fathers of the US. Like, it really was like, I turn around and it's like, ah, yes, my favorite Scadrian, George Washington.
George Washington was one of the original Allomancers. I don't know if you guys knew this.
He actually received a bead of
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Him famously losing his teeth was because of metal-based erosion, right?
We all know that. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think meant to look like old nobles, but very much looked like old American dudes.
Well,
I do want to. Sorry, I there's something in chat that I see that I forgot to mention. Going in through like the Shadesmar and then the perpendicularity. I admit I did not hear everything, and so I could be wrong about this. But my impression was that the framing device of this ball. So last year it was, oh, you've been invited to attend the wedding. This year it was Kelsier and Hoyd are going to, and mostly Hoyd really, are going to present
mostly
you.
Kelsier.
Sure. Are going to present you with a spiritual realm vision of the history of like a pivotal moment of the history of the final empire. And so this is not, you are a world hopper that is for some reason attending the first ball at Keep Venture. You are magically attending that. And so any deviations from actual book events are accounted for by the fact that this is a spiritual realm vision.
Yeah,
or
okay,
light
so
framing or whatever.
It's like Dalinar's visions, kind of.
It's exactly like
that. Yeah, cool.
I think that helps the fact that that they wanted to merge into different balls. Like, they had the first meeting of Vininaland, and then they had the scene of Vin fighting Shan.
Yeah.
And then the other little tidbits of Vininaland dancing and stuff like that. They got to merge together several scenes in a way that otherwise wouldn't have been the same ball. And I think the story did fit well as a framing for that.
Yeah. So that's a good point, right? So after we got a little bit of time to like register with the Steel Ministry and mingle and get some drinks, get some food, the actual yes.
Sorry, can I interject again before we kind of move on in the story? When we very first came in and this mingling and exploration was going on, before any actual performances started, there was they had a balcony area, like not a stage but a balcony, up kind of up above the door where you came in, so you didn't see it. Yeah, you didn't see it immediately, but when we came in, before any actual performances were going on, Elend was already up on the balcony, just reading, sitting there and chilling and reading.
Very good.
I'm glad that I heard someone else point that out, because it's a very, very good detail. Very fun.
Love that.
He was already up there.
Yeah. Actually, on that note, upon entering, I similarly saw two clearly actresses dressed as noble women kind of sit on a table, like essentially right here, close to the stage, and like gossiping about something. I didn't know who they were, but it looked like they were going to be involved with the ball. And so we did the registration, we did the foods and drinks, and then the actual event was about to start. So like different actors, we hadn't done any scenes, but like different actors split off to do like little photo op opportunities. And so by the time I was done with registering myself as a thug, these two had split up and were doing photo ops. And I'm like, fine, I'll do photos. I don't know who these people are. I assumed that one of them was going to be Shanna Lariel, because I had seen casting because Paladin Creative and Dragonsteel had published the cast for these things. And also upon entering the ballroom, there was a sign that told you who the cast was going to be. Yeah. And it had like things with like with aerial performances by whatever. So I knew there was going to be some coin shot stuff. So I knew the channel area was going to be in there. And I approach the one of the women who was I thought dressed more lavishly, who was doing photo ops. And because last year the actors were in role the entire time, I'm like, I will do just the tiniest bit of role play, which is all I can manage. And so I go up to her, and I don't remember what I said, but it was something to the effect of Lady Shan or Lady Chanelaria or something like that. And she does a little giggle and she says, "Oh, if only." And later reveals, not later, but then she tells me that she is Lady Kliss, a name which, like, I feel like no one I spoke with recognized Lady Kliss, but I'm like, yes,
I remember her.
Yeah.
I'm here for
Classic
Lady Kliss.
character from Final Empire.
We all remember Lady Kliss.
With
I
her
mean,
blonde wobbling bun.
Is that true? I don't remember that.
But I was delighted to have Lady Kliss in there. I'm like, yes, that's good touch. And she points me to the other woman who's doing photo ops, and she's like, oh, this is Lady Shan. And so I take a photo with her, and then I move on and I line up to take a photo with Shan Ilario. And I don't remember how exactly the conversation went, because I had a few conversations with her and they were all kind of similar. But it was something to the effect of like me enjoying myself at this ball, and she goes, "Oh, you should come see the kinds of events we throw at House Ilario." And I think this is the point where I need to talk about the thing that I want to talk about in this episode, which was the actress who played Lady Shan. She was incredible. I have not been able to stop thinking about this woman since the event. She was the meanest mean girl to have ever mean girled. Like, not a single... It was not until like a week after the event that I saw a photo of her where she smiles. She not once broke character. She was always side-eyeing people. She was always mean to everyone. She was always dismissive. Even like when she was not like acting, when she was like off stage, like getting ready to enter stage and play a part in a scene, she was mean, and just the resting Shan face was uninterrupted. Like, I was stunned by that performance. It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. Like, I see chat. This is not even about love. Like, this is this kind of personality is not even my type. I don't care about it. But like, the acting performance, it was exquisite. It was like, I cannot stress enough how good it was. And like, every time I would go to her and we would do like a little, 15-second chat, she would be like that, and she would have unique responses to give. Like, even at the very end, like the entire ball is over. We are shuffling out to leave. And I go up to her and I'm like, great job, congratulations, great performance. I loved your acting. You were incredible. And she's like, that makes one of us. And I'm like,
Love
yes!
her from afar.
Yes!
This is
Please.
why anyone on Discord PM me anything from Shan Ilario. Literally, this is the part that like I want to be side-eyed by Shan. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And then like even when like the cast was getting, and you can see this in a lot of the photos where like everyone involved gets on like this stage behind me and does the bow and the clap and the thing. She's the only one in a lot of those that is not smiling. Everyone else is clapping, and she just does like a little this.
That's perfect.
it was like I
Amazing.
cannot overstate how good she was, and I can genuinely talk about her forever. But I shan't.
Boo.
I also haven't told you that I had a ball at this event.
I have a
I
badge
can
ribbon
kick
that
someone
says,
from this call, right?
No, that'll change all my overlays. You're not allowed to.
That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I have a badge ribbon that says I had a ball at DSNX 2025.
Good.
The other fun story that I wanna tell, and I'll go back to either handing the microphone to Ian or I will talk about the event itself. But after the event was over, I was approached by the actress who played Lady Kliss, with whom I was also deeply impressed. And it turns out she played Shallan last year. And not only did she play Shallan, I think she recognized me potentially from like our like Nexus recap, whatever episode we did where we talked about this, where much in the same way that I gushed about Shan Ilariel this episode, I gushed about Shallan's performance
was so
because
good last year.
she was incredible. And she was like, I think I saw you on a podcast talking about my performance. Like, and so once again, I gushed for 10 minutes about how good of a Shallan she was because she absolutely was. But it was a really sweet moment where we talked about our love for this freaking little universe that Brendan has built, and it was really, really wholesome.
If you are an actor in the World Hopper Ball and would like to come on the show to be interviewed,
Yes.
let us know.
Talk to me.
Anytime.
Hit us up.
So if you are watching, please hit us up. We might be trying to reach out and contact you. I don't know.
Or we might have already. Well, I mean, I guess if you are watching live, then you will get to us before we get to you.
Yeah,
Maybe we got to you in the spiritual realm because we would have gotten to you.
Maybe we did.
that's true. We always will have done it.
But anyway, so rest of the ball. Ian, do you have anything else, or I can recap the
Yes.
events of the actual? Okay, I'll let you speak for a minute.
Yes.
Oh, good.
So I
Thanks.
didn't get to talk to any of the actors or actresses myself. Because I didn't even try for the photo op. I was standing in a line to get registered at the ministry at the time, and they said it would be like 15 minutes, and I kind of figured, okay, the lines for that are going to be enough that it's just going to be a waste of 15 minutes. So I didn't try. I didn't get a picture with anyone. Though I did get a couple pictures of people, like an Inquisitor as we were leaving. So I didn't talk with anyone, but the acting that I did see just from the performances was good. I didn't note Shan in particular, though I totally believe you. Vin and Alend were adorable. They were really adorable together. It's easy to not reread the books in a few years and be like, oh yeah, I liked Era 1, and kind of forget, oh yeah, I really ship these two. These guys are really cute. Which happened with the wedding too. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. I really like Adeline and Shallan. Oh yeah, I really like Vin and Alend. And Sazed was also great. Sazed and Vin interacting was fun.
Mhm.
All of it, they seemed good. And yeah, were you, Argent? Were you wanting to recap like the rest of the events of the ball, or
I was planning to, but much more.
I don't think we
briefly.
need to do that. Because we do still need to talk about the entire state of Sanderson.
We do need to do
Okay.
that. And any
That's
news.
true.
That is true.
Okay.
I think we can like quickly say there were acrobatics. They brought in more Haze Killer. Again, it has been a while since I read The Final Empire, but I think it was Vin fighting Shan and like 2 or 3 other people in the books. And they brought in several more Haze Killers, I believe, or Mistborn or Mistings and such to fight Vin, to kind of run around and do some acrobatics. And then Vin and Shan did aerials, with hanging cloths and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
And the Steel Ministry rounded up the
Cool.
Mistborn, I believe, fire?
Yeah. So there was a moment when the entire room, which was beautifully lit, much better than last year, by the way, goes like ominously red, and we get this like low chant and ominous music going on, and a bunch of Inquisitors step on stage, and they're like, "Hey, we heard there were Mistborn rebels amongst you. Any Mistborn, come up." Essentially announce yourselves and you will be rewarded.
The Canton, the Inquisition.
I hear that other sessions behaved differently, but the people at my session, all the secret Mistborn just stepped up on stage with the Inquisitors, and they were like, "Okay, great, we're gonna go off backstage now." And they go backstage. My impression is that these people got turned into spikes. I understand that.
That's
I think
such a
they got,
waste, though.
I know, but what are you gonna do? I think the people actually got like little coins or something.
Nice.
For
They
for
got pins. They got the
Pins.
World Hopper Ball pin, the one that's like in the style of a stained glass window. I believe they got that for free.
but so they got a little reward for like participating in the event. I thought there was gonna be a follow up where they're like, hey, some of you are hiding, or there was gonna be a thing where like if you approach an Inquisitor and you're like oust, like you go, hey, this is a Mistborn, then something happens. But that was kind of the end of it.
That was kind of the extent. And do we want to really quickly? Well, okay, really quickly, I'm going to touch on one of the pieces of feedback from last year was it's really hard to actually see any of the performances if you're not standing there, right there by the edge the whole time.
They have a stage now.
And so this year, yes, they got a raised stage, which most of the performances were either on the stage or on that balcony up there, with a little bit on the dance floor.
Nice.
And this did help. It didn't entirely. It was still hard to see some things, especially if you were short or especially if you weren't standing by the edge. But it was definitely an improvement. More was visible. I caught more personally. So that is a good piece of feedback that they took into account there.
Absolutely.
And are you gonna show off the cup now?
Yeah. Someone is very timely asking in chat whether they gave out goblets again. They did not. They gave out these copper looking, and I will once again leave Keep Venture so I can zoom in a little bit. So they gave out these copper looking cups, unclear, receptacles for liquids that say World Hopper Ball on one end, and then they have like this stained glass looking logo on the other. Nothing special on the inside, but on the bottom.
Write these words in steel.
Yeah, this is not visible, but it does say I write these words in steel or metal. In metal. Write these words in steel, for anything that's said in metal cannot be trusted, and it has the Dragonsteel logo. So, much more carryable than the goblets,
and more pack in your bag.
Yeah, that was the big issue last year.
The glass goblet, because I did not have space for the styrofoam and the box, I definitely stuffed with socks and underwear to get it home.
Yep.
They also gave us a cookie on the way out, and they did, and we also got to keep the metal vials that we got from the ministry. And then they didn't specifically give us these, like I think they had one in the bag last year, but they did have themed napkins again, which you could take some with you if you wanted.
Nice. Is that all we got for the ball?
I mean, certainly not, but I do recognize that we need to move on with the stream.
It is true.
Yeah,
however,
I could keep talking as well. But
yes, I mean, I did talk with you for like 2 hours after you got out of the ball about it.
Yeah, no, it's...
what we're going to do before we go to news is we are going to take a very short bio break. So we'll be back in 2 to 3 minutes, I say. So that is what we're going to do. And I know it'll say stream starting soon, but I'll fix that. So, don't at me, okay? So we'll be back in just a second. We're back. What's up?
We're back.
We've never done a break before on this show live.
Well,
so
we have
Also,
never taken a break.
Shout out to Light's friend who is excited for Diceborn.
Diceborn season 2 is
and
coming
will
back.
apparently never forgive Royce.
Good.
But like, why? What do you need to forgive Royce? He's done nothing wrong ever in his life.
Nothing wrong.
Well, we'll talk about our upcoming plans at the end of the show. So I think we got to talk about the news. Obviously, we will be getting to State of Sanderson, but a lot of the news was talked about at Nexus, so we're gonna talk about that. Let's maybe start with, before we go to the big announcements at the release party, talk about just like Brotherwise's announcements, because those aren't in the State of Sanderson.
Yes, I can cover those.
Great.
Shout out to the website Invested in the Cosmere, which did an article summarizing the state of games in the Cosmere panel.
They've been doing a lot.
Honestly, really
Very
good website,
helpful.
actually. Go check it out.
Yeah. Shout them out. So super minor thing. There's apparently a Mistborn RPG event that's happening in Salt Lake City next July, called Campaign Supernova. It's sponsored by Brotherwise, but it is not run by Brotherwise. But Dan Wells and Lydia Suen are two of the writers on that. So if you're in that area, maybe check it out. But for more broader things, there are 3 games coming out next year. Shards of Creation, which is a fun trick-taking game. And I can say fun because I've not actually played it, and it was fun. That they did share some really great Art Nouveau art of, like, they'll be depicting canonical depictions of 8 of the shards. Devotion, Dominion, Preservation, Ruin, I think Endowment?
Wasn't
No
it
endowment.
Autonomy?
No.
Endowment. Autonomy. Autonomy was in there. Honor, Cultivation, Odium. That's 8. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Devotion and Dominion, not currently being revealed.
Yes.
They will be.
Yeah. They only shared Blurred. And that, what's his name? I should shout out the guy who is it in here?
Which guy?
The creator of Shards of Creation.
Hayden Gillard?
Hayden. Yes. Very nice guy. Made a fun game. So that will be coming out in retail in May.
Nice.
It'll be like $25, which is not too bad.
Nice.
Then, obviously, like the Mistborn campaign setting for the Cosmere RPG is coming out in September.
Boom.
They did some they shared a lot of art, which, as always, is really beautiful. They teased a little bit more about Mistborn Legacy, which is the adventure, including hot villain art.
It's true.
Yes.
It is true. Kara's hot.
Yeah, there's
Well, so
like
so,
Sarah
so, 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 so,
Techiel.
so Car is not in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Car was revealed independently. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Car is separate. Yeah, that's not Mistborn campaign separate.
Who is also hot.
Not Mistborn Legacy.
Yeah.
So it's Lysara, I believe, Techiel, Quilliam. Perfect name. Quilliam Alariel and Bayron Conrad.
Yeah.
So
that Techiel
little
woman
teases
is
there.
very hot.
Lazara
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. And then there is a Well of Ascension expansion for the Mistborn deck building game, which includes Car as a playable character, which is why the Car art was posted. And that will be in November. There will also be a Brotherwise Kickstarter in the second half of the year, next year, for the War for Roshar, which is their big grand strategy board game.
So excited. I'm incredibly excited.
Which is
for
similar
this.
to like Star Wars Rebellion or War of the Ring. So yeah. And also they teased Plot Weaver, which is going to be the system agnostic version of the Cosmere RPG play rules. So that's fun that like it's getting a larger life than just the Cosmere.
I want everyone to know that as I was at the booth chilling with people, I just got a notification from Jess, and Discord just showed the last one, and it just said, "Why is car hot?" And that was all she said, because she was at that panel.
The Canton of Inquisition actually has standards.
Yeah, that's true.
He was a soldier before he became an Inquisitor, and we know he's good at.
I can't believe you have this trivia still. Just like you got it instantly. Cool. So let's talk about what Brandon announced at the release party. And who wants to talk about the Next Step coin?
I can talk about the Next Step coin.
Why don't you talk about the Next Step coin?
So Brandon and Emily announced that they have made a challenge coin, one of those little like not money but metal coins that have things on them, that has a QR code on it that goes to a page with resources for people who are struggling with mental health or suicide. And it has a QR code with resources. It has the universal US number for mental health hotline, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it's all mental health, not specifically. It has that, and it has always the next step, I believe, on it. With
I think it's always the next step, and then on the other side, it's you'll be warm again.
Ooh. Oh.
And they said, Brandon and Emily said, they will send this for free to anyone who needs it, anyone who requests it. In the US, I will say in the US, you do have to pay shipping if you are international, unfortunately, or at least overseas. I think all international, not sure. You do have to pay shipping. But they will send you the coin itself for free still, I believe.
And it comes with a letter.
The phone number is US only.
Yes, that as well, yes.
Yeah. And I think it comes
so
with a personalized letter from Brandon. Well, maybe not personalized, but you know,
one that he's written out to people. Yeah. And you also have the option, if you just want to have the coin because you like collecting Dragonsteel's stuff, or you think it's neat, but you don't feel like you really need it in the moment, you can also choose the option of just buying it. And that will help support this initiative, help them kind of make the coins. But it's not dependent on people buying them. Brandon was very clear, like, if you think you need it, don't feel bad about getting one for free and requesting it. This is what he's choosing to spend his money on. He has a lot of money. He wants to do a good thing for people. And so, yeah, don't feel bad about, don't be like, oh, but do I really need it that badly? You can get one and it's okay, and they will send it to you, the coin entirely for free, and then shipping if you're out of the US.
This got me extremely emotional. This was extremely sweet, and you know, if you're a best-selling author and you have the money, like this is a great thing to do. And Brandon said he's wanted to do this for years and wanted to do it right. So I think this is incredible.
So
and
not only
cool
this,
go ahead.
Or did you want to cover the other thing that the coin is doing?
No, I was just reacting to what was said so far.
Okay, go ahead, and I'll follow up after you.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it's like the fact that because Brandon's books engage with like mental health themes so much, like I think it's just really cool. Like it's kind of like a walking the walk, or like practicing what you preach moment kind of thing, which is just really great.
the other thing I want to bring up here is that the Dragonsteel has partnered with Nerd HQ, which is a company that in turn partners with Timely Care. I might get the details a little bit wrong, but essentially there's a company that works with like employers and employees to provide free, I think, digital mental health care and support. And Dragonsteel is kind of hooking into that pipeline and going, hey, if you are getting this coin also gets you access to this resource, even though you are not like an employee of a company that is in turn partnered with that stuff. So not only do you get the very personal support from Brandon, but also you get like a material, hey, professionals are going to speak with you if you would like to speak with them. And Dragonsteel is going to shoulder the costs for that.
Love that.
I realized that we didn't actually explain. I mean, obviously the coin is an easy to access resource for if you want resources, but kind of the other use of an item like this is that you can keep it with you, or at home or something like that, and pull it out if you're feeling bad, and have a solid, touchable reminder that someone out there wants you to be okay, doesn't want you to die, that there are other people who have this and who are struggling as well. And different people work differently, of course, but having a solid reminder is often very helpful in moments to kind of fight back against what your brain is saying.
Yeah.
So that is another kind of idea of why in this way specifically.
Love that. Cool. Then we have the extremely fancy Eye of the World leather bounds. They do look
So
fantastic.
pretty.
And
such a trap. It is such a trap.
I can't buy them, right? Because then I'm like committing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also you haven't read.
Yeah, but I own them all, Ian. It's still a trap if I buy the first one. That's still true.
Yeah, it's like I'm debating it.
They do look so good.
Pre-orders are up now in Dragonsteel's store. A lot of them have sold, but you know, this is live.
And something to keep in mind is these ones aren't signed by Brandon. So like obviously with a Brandon leatherbound, like I want to get a signed version. So it's like there is a time impetus to buy them. Whereas these ones, like I could come back later and buy them.
You can
and I
won't have
to time it for when there's a signed version.
They've been pretty good at restocking the leather bounds as it is, so I imagine these are going to be available for a while. But nice. Now what I want to talk about, we're going to go into a different view because I am almost a professional streamer, kind of. Not really, but we can go over here and show off some spiffy art. Ooh. Not for those of you on the call, but you, the stream, can see this. And
I'm watching the stream. Looks spiffy.
I'm not.
Brandon announced that we're going to have a Kickstarter for the Hoid Storybook Collection. And I'm very excited about this. So there are going to be 4 different stories. We're going to have Wandersail in there. I think these are going to be 4 different separate books. So they're not like in one single thing, right?
Yes, I believe they will be separate books from the way he's talked about them.
Look at this technology, guys. Whoa. We can switch the slide. Amazing. Wow. Are you impressed?
Deeply.
This is where they're gonna release the Chasm Friends story, which was one of the story decks stories. And I think there's going to be some new art with Chasm Friends. I think
I heard that somewhere. I don't know how reliable that is.
No, this is reliable. There is one page in Chasm. The alt art. I forgot what the nonsense cards.
Nonsense cards.
The nonsense cards form an illustration whose style doesn't match the rest of the Chasm Friends story by definition. They are doing an illustrations of the nonsense thing in the style
all the way through.
Nice. I think this is a really great way to release that story. I don't think I'd want Chasm Friends as like this, you know?
Yeah. And it's like making it clear, like, that's a Hoid story, like a Hoid nonsense story, like, makes its existence make more sense.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I don't know that Chasm Friends is a Hoid story. It is non-canon. It is a story told in world. I don't know that he's ever said it's a Hoid story.
I feel like there's an implication here with it being part of the Hoid picture book collection.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to see how it's marketed.
But didn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he said we're putting this in even though it's not a Hoid story.
I'm just really excited because like as someone with kids or a kid, like Brandon's only kids book so far is the most boring book ever.
Yeah.
Which I have, which is not Cosmere. So now I'm like, yes, Cosmere stuff.
Gotta start them early.
That's a good dad right here. We got a good dad.
So I'm very excited for these.
And now,
what are we including? Right, we are including Wonder Sail.
Yep, we got Chasm Friends, and then we have Girl Who Looked Up, guys. And at the release, this got gasps. And check out this art. It's black and white. We got that splash of color. Oh my god, I'm really excited for this. Yeah. This is worth it alone, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Brandon apparently is going to write like a proper ending. So that's
notably has written a canonical version.
Because there's the debated ending in the book.
Well, I mean, this is going to happen.
Yeah, it switches.
It's not debated, right? It is two people are telling the same story and they are ending it in different ways, right? And so this should be the ending that like the story has.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Girl Who Looked Up is my favorite Hoid story for sure.
I think that it's a lot of people's faves for sure.
For good reason.
It might be.
And then we have The Dog and the Dragon. And I do really like that the art styles are very different. We love Dog and the Dragon, for sure.
Different artists. Dog and the Dragon is Howard Lyon.
Yep. Yes, sorry, I did not mention the names of the artists for Wander Sail, which, we can cycle back. Whoa. This is Steve Argyle. Nice. And then Chasm Friends is Anna Early. And then A Girl Who Looked Up is Alexis and Justin Hernandez. Nice.
Anna Early also did all of the kind of most recent character pins for Dragonsteel. So
nice.
Cute kind of art is very much her style, and she does it very well.
The coloring on that dragon is so beautiful.
Oh yeah, looks fantastic.
Yeah, well, Howard's really good.
Howard's an amazing artist.
Incredible.
So. And with color, like especially, like I feel like his work, like the way he uses colors is,
And they said fulfillment for these will be by the end of the year 2026. This is in State of the Sanderson, which we're going to get to soon, of course. But yeah, I'm really stoked about this. There are some notable Hoid story exclusions. Sorry, Fleet fans. Fleet.
I'm a Fleet fan.
No
I
want to either.
Fleet makes sense because Fleet is more of a chant, a song, a poem, which you could still do a picture book for, but I don't know. It does feel like a slightly different format. But yeah, no Queen Saw, no Jarek's story.
That doesn't count. I don't know if Jarek counts.
I agree,
Counts.
Jarek.
It's the
it
only.
does.
It's the only one in Wind and Truth, isn't it? We have to have the Hoyd story, and
I guess that's true.
that's him telling
Okay.
the story to Dalinar.
Okay, fine.
He
No,
tells
I
it as a
reject that.
story to Dalinar.
That's fine.
I do want to call out something.
Yep.
The Backer Kit campaign that is currently not live, but like the page exists, has a Backer thing. Backer
Yes.
Kit has a thing now where you can essentially pre-pledge for stuff, which I have personal objections with, but this campaign does that. And if you reserve your spot for $5, which 51,000 other people have done so,
Oh, jeez.
you will get one Chasm Friend pin, of which there's going to be several of.
Okay.
And you can read the details on like how that thing works. But so in other words, if you pre-order,
It will be random.
you get a little bit of extra. Yeah.
Cool.
Randomized blind bag. So I was a little confused on their marketing for that. That is like you put down $5, which will go towards the books if you get them, or $5, which would go towards the pin either way.
I think it's your pre-pledging. So I think the $5 will be subtracted from your final pledge. You were just pledging a little bit early.
Okay, that was
is
not
my
super
understanding of
clear
it.
to me.
I'm not gonna bet my life on it, but that's my understanding of how that works.
Gotcha.
Fascinating. Well, do we want to talk about the last big announcement? And it's that. Admittedly, this did not get as many gasps as Girl Who Looked Up, but Brandon wrote another book, guys. I know. It's crazy. And it's called Fires of December, and that will be the con book next year, but he will also
Isn't that
have...
just California?
Okay. Then also, he will have a Dragonsteel edition with the Hoyd Storybook Kickstarter. So the Tor trade version will come out at the con next year. So a little unclear when the Dragonsteel edition is going to come out. I imagine a bit sooner, but who knows when fulfillment's going to go. But
if it's fulfilled at the same time as the Hoyd storybooks, then I would assume they said like Q4.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
Who knows? It could be like August, September, or whatever, or earlier, like Ember Dark. We got early. So were people surprised about Fires of December? I don't know. Yeah.
My reaction to this. Sorry, you can go.
Yeah, Ian,
go ahead.
what was your reaction?
Okay, my reaction to this. So I had assumed that the release party speech and all of that was something that I could catch up safely on later, and there wouldn't be any too crazy news.
No, you're a fool.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have made that assumption in this
You
fandom.
fool.
You fool!
You are never safe in this fandom.
No.
Anyway, I was like hanging out with a friend out in the Hyatt lobby, waiting for everyone else to come and hang out for CouchCon. I opened my phone while I have gotten some dinner to eat. I open my phone. I go to the events chat. I see that Brandon has announced another secret novel. I go, oh, okay. I'm going to finish my grilled cheese and catch up on this afterwards.
I was very hungry during that.
The cover looks cool. I haven't listened to the reading yet.
We're not going to do the reading right now. We will have an episode of that in January. Sorry, we couldn't get it recorded for December. Sorry.
For December, hey.
Yeah.
Before we go to Matt, I just want to say real quick, this story kind of retroactively marks the existence of the Hoyd's Travails series, which is, it's not an official series in the sense that there's no like book 1, book 2, book 3. It is more of a like anthology type of thing where we have a bunch of books which are Hoyd tells stories about some people to some other people. And Tress retroactively goes in there, Yumi retroactively goes in there, and the Fires of December is kind of, I think, the first one that's going to be like officially branded as Hoyt's Travails. I would not be surprised if Brandon keeps adding onto this list.
Yeah.
I mean,
and like they're his travails because something bad happens to him and everyone.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, the progress bars did not go up very fast this year, and Brandon did say he was doing Hollywood, but also, yeah. So
I like the name Hoyd's Travails.
Yeah, I think that's
I low-key
good.
don't like that. I low-key don't like that they're making a series out of it, because I think people will take that to be more than it is, even with Brandon saying like that there isn't really an order within them. People already are like, the secret projects are a series on websites and stuff, so I'm kind of like, don't give them more fuel.
This is more of a series than Secret Projects.
It's better than
like,
Isles
they
of the
actually do
Emberdark
fit together.
being
But
labeled
they're-
Secret Project 5. Like, that's a nonsense branding.
It
Like,
is a
this
little
means
better
something.
than that, but they're still not like a series.
But
they're
like, if you
have
want more
a
stories
story
like
theme,
this,
but-
then you have, this to go off
Like,
of. Like, I
I
think
would
that's
say-
useful
I don't
branding.
know.
Even if it's like different characters apart from Hoyd, like the elements between Tress and Yumi already, like you could see like, oh, you like Tress, you should read Yumi, or vice versa. And I kind of, if these are all Hoyd narrating stories, like
Sure.
it's kind of like like there's other kind of, are they called anthology series, or what's the word I'm thinking
Yeah, maybe
of?
it's called that, yeah.
Like there's other series like this. So
Yes, but I don't want people to take it as more than it is and be like, okay, you should read them in this order because
Yeah,
they
for
came
sure.
out in this order. Or to be like, oh, if you're going to read The Fires of December, then you should read Tress and Yumi beforehand. And that sort of thing. Like,
You won't need to do that.
yeah, I don't want people to recommend them like they're that connected.
There's no harm in that though. So like it doesn't matter either way. You can read them in any order. Like, it doesn't hurt you. Like, so should people be prescriptive about it? No, but like it's not harming anything.
No,
And
it's
so like
not.
I don't view that as a reason not to consider this a series.
and people are gonna do that no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
that's fair. People will.
like, it's-
People will be people.
Like as Gray mentions in chat, it's a series, it's not a numbered series.
yeah.
Mhm. I mean, that's what Brandon has said, yes. I don't know if I entirely trust people to keep to that, but I
But, like-
suppose, to be fair, we could already have that problem.
Yeah,
People
like that's
will
the thing.
people.
Like bookstores, like already, I think, especially like if you're getting outside of our like hyper fandom circles, like people don't know how to market the
Mhm.
Cosmere.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
don't.
Like that's just.
And it's just going to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's useful branding to have. I like it.
Matt, I don't think we got your
Yeah.
reaction to the
Ye-
announcement of Fires of
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
Well, it's out of nowhere. Like these things do tend to be.
What?
Definitely a surprise. I haven't read it yet, like the sample, so
okay.
I'm curious to look into it. Surprised that it's, I don't want to get too into the weeds because I know we'll do an episode, but the
Yeah.
Fires of December, like December being Cosmere, obviously,
Yeah.
raises some questions.
This will be discussed. Don't you worry.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna
curious if there's any
preemptively mute Ian.
inspiration. Yeah, if there's any inspiration, like there's a series like what's it called? The Doors of January, and I think Ian, did you recommend?
I've
this
not
book to
read that
me?
one, no.
Okay.
I know of its existence. I have not read it though.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm curious to see what it is. I really liked Tress and Yumi, so I'm here for more of that style of thing.
For more of Hoyt's
Um,
travails.
And, knowing how Brandon works too, where he, is working on a big project like Mistborn or Stormlight, and then has like these little bubbles of inspiration he wants to
Mhm.
follow while the energy is hot, kind of.
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect outlet for that. Like he can whip off a Hoyd story. They're a little more whimsical, a little, less hard mechanics. He can play, although sometimes the mechanics go really hard in these books and you don't realize it.
Well, I think it's more that he doesn't have to do like a lot of continuity. Like, say if he was doing, you're not going to rip out Rhythmatus too. Like that's not happening, right? So
or Nightblood or Elantris sequels or Horn Eater, these things have, if you're just telling a little story in a little corner of the Cosmere that has no connectivity to other things, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah. Other than Hoid, like basically the only timeline you need is where is this in like Hoid's timeline. But he, and it's like a good way to like, are we ever going to see all the shards in depth? And their influence, I don't
certainly
know.
not as much as the Stormlight and Mistborn ones, right? Like that's just mathematically how it goes, right?
We get a little bit of the shard lore, usually, and like a new planet that we otherwise wouldn't get to see. So
certainly these have expanded the Cosmere immensely. Like if we didn't have any of the secret projects and the last 2 Cosmere books were Wind and Truth and Lost Metal, we're a happier fandom because of these, I think.
Well, like think how much Tress gave us like with Aethers. And how that and like how that fleshes out even our reading of the Lost Metal when like that's
I definitely recommend Brandon's reading of this. You should go check it out. We'll have an episode next month.
I recommend you guys read the thing. I don't know if I would recommend Brandon's reading of it.
Brandon is not a professional voice actor. He does fine, but you can read it in the newsletter. That's true.
How did do you want to talk about how the rest of us reacted to it, or do we move on? I think we said, "Oh no, more work."
Well, that's certainly true. But hey, we don't need to talk about that. Anything else on this? I think we talked about most of the important things about December. Obviously, there's a lot to get into with the reading, and we're being spoiler free for that. Okay.
Yep.
So
I will say, Brandon, and this is something I agree with. Brandon says this is probably his strongest, like, first chapter that he's ever written.
Yes,
and I think that's accurate.
True, absolutely correct. Check it out.
This is making me excited for it.
Yeah, maybe we can have you on the episode that we haven't recorded yet, Matt.
Yeah. So that'd be great. So question though, on this Hoid's travails thing.
Okay.
A book I could see potentially retroactively fitting within this ambit. Arguably, it's not quite the same. Like Emperor's Soul.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I feel like if he wrote Emperor's Soul today, he would have put Hoid as the narrator, and it would be one.
Like I could see a version of Emperor's Soul that was Hoid narrated.
But I don't know if it's a certainty because Shai's voice is so strong and so good, and like so much of it does depend on her point of view and her. I mean, like you could still get her talking to Gaotona, but
and like the character voice in Tress and Yumi, I was impressed with how much of the character voice you got, even though.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though it's filtered through Hoid, like I still felt like Tress had a really distinct, clear voice, and similar for Yumi and Painter.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, like, if he was writing it now, maybe it would, but it's not. So I think anything that's a Hoid's travails would be narrated by him, right?
I'm with Ian on this one. I could see a version of this story that was that. I don't see this version of the story being that.
Wade in chat does have a great point. Hoid is not in trouble in that. But I mean, didn't he get thrown in?
No, he will.
No.
he gets away.
He
was in
screwed
prison.
over Shy.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
this hypothetical version, Hoyd would have had some. It would be a different version of the book. So it's like Brandon would come up with some travail Hoyd is experiencing at that period.
Yeah.
of
In
time.
the spiritual
He
realm,
actually
that
gets
book
caught.
exists. Okay, so you can imagine it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about the miscellaneous stuff from State of Sanderson. Honestly, those are the big announcements. Those were the announcements that he talked about with Nexus. But, there's a lot of stuff in State of the Sanderson. So 2 hours in, we're getting here for the title of the episode. But, yeah, hey, that's fine.
Wait, half the title of the episode.
Half the title of the episode. Yeah, where do we want to start here?
Brandon is
50.
realizing, age is a thing.
Yeah,
Emily is also 50.
Yeah.
the passage of time I'm not a fan of, for sure.
Yeah.
Well-
Well, you can choose not to believe in time.
I wish.
And it's the interesting, because what did he say? So he's been writing for 20 years, or has been releasing books for 20
Yes.
years.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so you think, okay, if he says he's about halfway through, that's going to take him to 70. However, he had Wheel of Time in that first 20.
He does
so-
say that his goal is to finish the Cosmere. I think by his early 70s is the most recent thing I've heard.
He was,
Sometime in his 70s is
he was
what I
like,
usually
this is
hear.
the first half of the Cosmere. He's feeling good about the second
Yeah.
half, basically.
Yeah.
Which I think it's reasonable for an author to continue writing until their 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, super standard.
And and that's the thing, even if he finishes the Cosmere, he's not going to stop writing. 'cause that's what he does.
Absolutely not.
No.
He'll probably, I could see him when he finishes the Cosmere taking his foot off the gas pedal and kind of just,
I don't think his foot is on the gas pedal, though.
This
I
is
think
just
he's
funny.
gonna
I
go
think this is just his
unhinged.
normal pace.
I think this is
but I don't think he's gonna, he's not gonna have oh, I need to get this many out. He's just gonna be like, oh, here's a new book. Kind of more secret project-y
sure. Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's just gonna
he's gonna do the fun ones. That is this
yeah.
is my
Right, what
crazy
he
idea
wants.
that I want to do. But he's
Yeah.
gonna die writing a book 100%. There's no doubt about it that I had a old faculty member and he joked, yeah, I'm gonna just die halfway through a lecture doing math, and Brandon's gonna do the same thing eventually, just yeah, I'm typing a book and just that's the end, right?
They will find me face down on my keyboard, and I will have typed K 1,000 times. There was
That
some
is-
old blob about that.
That is certain to be the case, right? Yeah, cool.
He makes a comment here in
yeah?
his intro while he's talking about being old, where he says, "I've now been writing the yearly State of the Sanderson blog posts for longer than my youngest son has been alive. That's wild." Brandon, I'm not the math professor or the person with a kid on this podcast, but I'm pretty sure that's been true the whole time. I'm
Well-
pretty sure that the State of the Sanderson, you've been doing that longer than your youngest kid has been alive. That's not new.
Yes.
I
yes.
I
think
know
that now,
it's intended as a joke about how old
the
old
realization
things
is
is.
new.
Yes.
yeah.
The
And the now, I think, is maybe
Yeah.
not needed in that.
the realization
Yes.
is that any of
Seriously.
Brandon's kids are old enough to be on 17shard.com, should they want to be. They probably don't.
Yeah, so I
but
actually
that's
had a
possible.
conversation with someone from Dragonsteel about that. I told them that I live in perpetual fear that
Yes.
one of Brandon's kids will join the Shard one day, and we're gonna have to figure out what to do with that.
Sure.
They're
Um,
already here, or we've already banned them. What if we've already banned them?
Rest in peace,
Yes, that's a-
Dallin.
yeah. I
They
have
wouldn't do anything.
I have an unofficial permission and, in fact, encouragement from an unnamed Dragonsteel person to treat these people aggressively as regular people and not give them an inch of privilege.
Good. I approve.
I mean, I think that's what we would have landed on anyway, pretty
Yeah.
much.
But it would have been spooky, that's for sure.
It is weird.
Cool. So what do we got? I mean, Brandon worked on a lot of Ghostblood 1, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say my
Go.
favorite offhand thing he revealed way before it got revealed later on?
Oh, please. Absolutely.
Which, like, he referenced, like, book 1 of the Riftwake series is coming out next year. And it's like, and that was the first time it's ever been called that, this is what the Skyward Legacy series that Jancy is writing. The series name is Riftwake, and that is the best title ever. I love it.
Riftwake is very cool.
It is
Whoever came up with
such an
that.
excellent
Perfect.
word.
Yeah.
Love it.
That is
Love it.
so much better than Skyward Legacy. It's like, oh my goodness, eclipses it. But so
I was excited. I am now locked in.
Yeah, so book 1 of Riftwake, called Blightfall, that is coming out September. Boom. So we're gonna have 2. Well, there's more than 2 books, but
we're gonna have a lot of releases.
We're gonna have
we
a lot
can
of
go
releases.
over it.
Well, we'll talk about it. But Brandon did say he White Sand Prose died for Fires of December. He'll do White Sand Prose eventually, but we got Fires of December instead. So
Sure we will.
What a shame.
Sure we will.
Very few
shame.
people mourned.
I'm fine with that.
If Brandon's gonna write, that's fine. This seems like a fine opportunity.
A new story instead of a rewrite of a story we've read in like 3 different forms.
Ian, I just
What a
want to go to
surprise.
all the Taishin and talk to them about things.
We don't need.
Do we want to like just speedily go down the list of what he did this year?
That's
and
what
then
I'm
what's coming
trying to
out
do.
next
Yeah,
year?
that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Yeah, that's the plan.
The gallery is doing too much peanuting.
Yeah, that's shocking. Yeah, he worked on some non-Cosmere novella that he can't talk
Is that
about
the one
yet.
that he can't talk about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did pitch stuff.
It's for an anthology.
Yes.
That's the only other thing we know about it is it's like 8K words last he talked about it, and an anthology.
He did say he pitched stuff for Hollywood. Maybe we want to talk about Hollywood a bit later, potentially, because that's been a big subject of discourse, which makes sense. So we'll talk about that in a bit. And yeah, he did get very sick in March, I think. So yeah. Nice. So we got to go through all the releases, right? For 2026.
I am realizing I have not set up my lights for this podcast,
Well,
and now it's getting
fine.
dark.
You're yeah.
Things, okay.
It's been
Okay,
been
bye.
fine. Bye. Okay, we're going to a break. No, just kidding.
I mean, I'm right here.
Good. I'm sure the audio listeners love that. Okay, 2026 releases. So, we got Hoid Picture Book Collection, right? So we got that.
Mhm.
That is a Kickstarter or a crowdfunding campaign in March.
Crowdfunding campaigns,
Yes.
March,
Yes.
fulfilled by the end of the year. Nice.
Fires of December, same campaign.
Yep. Trade edition in December. The month.
And
not
that's
the
going to
character.
be, it had to be December.
Had to be.
And that's going to be the Nexus book for that year.
Yep. We have Songs of the Dead on June 16th, which I think us on this panel we know of it, but it was funny me talking with Jess and she's like, what is that? So Songs
Death
for the
by
Dead.
Pizza.
If you remember Death by Pizza, put your comments below if you remember Death by Pizza. Brandon talking about it.
Am I correct in remembering, like, this was one of the ones that was once Cosmere and then was not Cosmere?
I think it's
or
gone through a lot of
moved back and forth?
iterations.
I don't know. I don't think Death by Pizza was ever Cosmere.
I think that is correct, that it was not.
I think it was kind of, with the pizza delivery guy, it was kind of Earth.
But
it was
when
always
they ditched,
earthy.
Wasn't when they ditched the pizza title, it like initially caught. I just remember there was one story like this that has been around forever.
Soul Burner was like this, which is what became Moonbreaker.
Oh, really?
Right.
That became Moonbreaker? Okay.
You could also be thinking of Dark One. That one went back and forth a couple
Dark
times.
One did also hop in and out.
I might be thinking of Dark One.
Oh, yeah, you're probably thinking of Dark One. No, this is
Death by Pizza, though, I feel like has been on the state of Sanderson
for a decade.
Yeah.
For 15 years, probably.
So
I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the first one, which was 2013.
Yeah.
Originally, the idea was a pizza delivery man necromancer, but they changed that to like heavy metal singer, or heavy metal band player.
So this is co-written by Peter Arulian, and who is big into metal, and so this is going to be the first in 3 books called The Strata Wars.
First in a series.
I don't know. Yeah. And so Brandon did work on this first one, but it's mostly Peter's project. And so, that's what's going on. So,
yeah, it will be Peter's project going forward.
Yeah.
But Brandon was obviously involved in the world building.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
The cover looks very nice.
Yeah.
I may or may not pick this up.
I don't have that prepped, so go look at the blog, I guess.
I did just look up the 2013 State of Sanderson. Death by Pizza is on there.
It's perfect.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Wow.
Old of design.
Can I? This list is kind of amusing. Can I just
yeah.
The 2013 list?
Yes.
So Shadows for Silence in the Forest of Hell, which has since come out.
Yep.
These are all the other projects, like the side things.
Yes, perfect.
Sixth of Dusk, which we know now. Silence Divine, Liar of Partnell, Skyward, working title, The Dark One, Death by Pizza, and White Sand. I don't know which iteration of White Sand he's referring to.
I don't think any of us know.
At this point.
That is a very funny. Thank you. I appreciate that immensely. Love that.
And then on the main series, Nightblood and Final Rhythmatist book are both on that list.
That checks out. That checks out.
You spiked me right in the heart, Matt. Oof.
Oh wait, this list has Rhythmatwist sequel and Rhythmatwist final book.
Yeah, originally it was a trilogy, but I think Brandon's now it's 2. Yeah. So
Brandon has gone back and forth because it's book 2 is the Atzlanian and book 3 the Nebraskian.
Yeah.
The deep lore of the Rhythmatist series.
Then,
I love the Rhythmatist so much. I just want it to continue.
Yeah.
And then Elantris sequel is also on this list, and it's still on.
Well, we'll talk about the Elantris sequels a bit later. Yeah. Then obviously we have Blightfall coming. This is 2026 now, not 2013. Sorry. Yeah.
Can I throw in a quick note?
Yeah.
There's also relating to Songs of the Dead.
Oh yes,
there is an anthology coming from Grim Oak in January. They're doing a Kickstarter for it, I believe. Kickstarter, backer hit, or something like that. It's called Unbroken, and it will have a deleted scene or a deleted chapter or something from Songs of the Dead in it, and it does list both Peter and Brandon as contributors. So this might be a deleted scene that Brandon wrote, and then that over the revisions got cut out, or it might be an earlier take on it. So
okay, cool.
We don't know this for sure. We don't know the details of it.
Well,
like anyway,
if it's from a co-written book, like his name would be on it either way.
Yep. But
anyway,
that is another release.
Very cool. Mistborn RPG fulfillment, War for Roshar Kickstarter later in the year, which you're getting it here because it wasn't in the State of Sanderson. Eye of the World Leatherbound, Skyward Leatherbound. Skyward Leatherbound looks really good,
It
guys.
looks so cool.
It does look so
It looks
good.
incredible.
Do I want it though?
Yes,
Between us, chat, I got to see the interior art for that. I'm gonna have to buy it.
Just get good art and Evgeny's in. I think I said like 30 new illustrations in State of Sanderson.
It
30
I don't
plus.
know, but it
30
certainly
plus.
felt like a lot.
30 plus new interior illustrations by Jake Parker, creator of Inktober.
Yeah, well, that's mildly controversial, but we don't need to get into that.
Okay, cool. That's what the blog says.
The detritus shell looks really good.
Okay, all right. And
I'm
I guess
definitely excited. I'm not going to get all of the leather bounds in general. I was like, no, I'm stepping back from that, but
Sure.
I'm probably gonna have to get the Skyward ones because
Yeah.
that looks really cool,
Yeah.
and I like Skyward.
The cover is also really, really
it's
nice.
so good. There's
And
yeah, go ahead.
this does definitively answer the question of, will Brandon do leather bounds of non-Cosmere books? Yes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes.
Not all of
Cyberverse-
them, probably.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, we're skipping to Skyward and not doing leather bounds of Reckoners.
Yeah.
Probably for a
At
reason.
least,
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're going to be doing not 10th anniversary editions because the 10th anniversary of Skyward would be in 2028. So that's not going to be a thing.
Mhm.
But they are going to do.
They stopped doing that for leather bounds.
Yeah, for sure. But
yeah, unfortunately.
they are going to do one Skyward book a year. That's going to be their next few years. Presumably that's going to include Skyward Flight as well. But they don't say here. But I imagine
My
it does.
Dragonsteel subscription is getting rough.
The Dragonsteel subscription is getting rough, but I'm really excited for the Roshar board game, Evgeny. Have you considered that there are products that I want to buy?
Brother, out of this entire episode, that's the thing I least care about.
Well, that's one of you, but there's a lot of good stuff.
I'm excited for it, even though I know I'm going to buy a copy that I will never get to play.
No, it's
'cause
for
I
two
don't
players.
have board gamers in my life.
Jess and I need 2-player board games, so this is incredibly important for our relationship for a good 2-player board game. So,
My partner and I have done one attempt at the House War board game, not House War,
the deck builder
game, the deck building game,
okay,
because that is 2-player.
cool. So that's what's going on in 2026. So not exactly a slow year, guys. Remember when we thought there'd be a drought? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
No, the drought is coming in 2027.
Okay.
I don't even believe that.
I
Honestly,
don't know if
there are
anyone believes
going
that
to
at
be
this
no
stage.
breaks for us.
No,
breaks.
there will
We're
be
just
no
going
there will
on
be no
ahead.
surprises in 2027.
Like, I will not believe there is not a new Cosmere book coming out in a calendar year until 11:59 p.m. on December 31st. Anytime before that, Brandon can stealth release, and I would
That's
not
true.
be
That
surprised.
is true. He
Yeah.
has randomly
No,
put
no,
out
no,
an EPUB
Cosmere-
before.
Cosmere drought is coming anytime soon. I believe.
We're just
We could
like
hope.
we're drowning, and we're like, "Where's the drought?"
But although did we didn't get a new did we get a new Cosmere book released this calendar year in 2025?
Yeah, Emberdark.
Emberdark.
Yes.
Emberdark. See,
You fool!
fool.
How foolish of you.
Yeah.
Cool. And I mean, like, I'm sure there's going to be other things, but I mean, I'm pretty excited about the storybook things. Like, it sounds pretty fun to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. Brandon does say that 2028 is a firm release date for Ghostblood 1. Do we want to talk about the adaptation stuff, or do we want to where do we want to go from here, guys?
Let's do adaptation, and then we can do release schedule.
Sure.
Well, there's some like
Other things?
some more minor stuff.
Okay, go. Let's
Like
do that.
Brandon went through the other potential stories, and there were the familiar ones
yes.
With Matisse, Silence Divine,
Yes.
7-layer Freefall Burrito World, which has been mentioned. There was a new one called Caveman Heist that I don't
know,
tentatively interested in.
I
don't know if this is a heist by caveman or of a caveman.
Was this one mentioned on Intentionally Blank? I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
I'm behind,
I'm
but not
up.
in anything I've seen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I confidently shake my head, having not seen Intentionally Blank in 3 years.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, I've not seen anything about this anywhere before.
Well, that's new.
And I am excited for a heist story that stays a heist story the whole way through and doesn't transform into overthrowing God.
Well, sometimes you just gotta overthrow God.
Brandon, I'm trying to think if there's a book that Brandon has stuck to genre straight through. I feel
that is a good point.
I feel he often, plays
true.
with that.
It's true.
I was going to bring up a WAP that I wanted to talk about, and I'm not going to do that because I can behave myself.
Yeah, behave. Unnamed Ashen book was on 2024, so that
Unnamed Other Ashen book is what the current state of the Sanderson says.
It literally says that in 2024. It says exactly that. It says unnamed
basically
other
Ashen book that is not
non-Silence Divine.
Divine. Give us Silence Divine instead.
Yeah,
give us both.
Also, a weird detail here is that in this paragraph of other stories, he mentions Dragonsteel, which is not itself weird. But then he says of them, I probably won't be able to do all of these. None of these are promised, and I have to think that that's a bit of an accident that Dragonsteel was surely
100%.
Dragonsteel is promised.
He literally said that in the spoiler stream yesterday. That yes, we will absolutely get the Hoyd prequel stuff for sure, 100%.
There's gotta be.
I would say so. My impression is that Stormlight and Mistborn are the backbone of the Cosmere.
Yeah.
Dragonsteel is the next best thing. So if there was, if Brandon was like, oh, I need to 100% finish these things, it's going to be Stormlight and Mistborn. I really, 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 really want to finish Dragonsteel as well, but that's half a tier below.
I think that's correct. But
I would put Dragonsteel on a similar level. I think I would put the Elantris sequels on a similar level.
Maybe.
We'll talk about those.
I think Dragonsteel is half a tier below Mistborn and Stormlight. I think Elantris sequels are 1 tier below.
I would agree.
That's fair.
He did say Elantris keeps getting shuffled around, but I'm very close to where I'm going to write the sequel. So, it's
that
happening.
sounds promising.
Yeah, but we got to talk about the Dan thing of just miscellaneous stuff, right? We have to talk about that.
Do we have that in the outline?
It is highlighted, my friend. I highlighted it for you.
It is. Okay.
Of course I put it in the outline.
Yeah.
I put it lots of things in the outline.
You're such a nerd.
Yeah. Oh, what? Nerds on this show? That's crazy. Who would ever? Okay, so Dan, the one and only person in the narrative department, other than, I guess, Dan and Brandon.
It's literally only him.
Yeah.
Brandon is above such things.
Yeah, it's true.
He transcends departments.
Oh, no, we can't see it. They're phasing out of reality, Evgeny. I'm so sorry.
I know. I'm trying to find a way.
Nope, too bad. It's over. So, Narrative has 3 other books in the works at present, with the following maddening hints. 2 of them are Cosmere. None of them are Threnody. 1 of them is huge. 2 of them are already in revision. All 3 of them are awesome. And 1 of them is so new and innovative, we haven't even figured out how to sell it yet. Okay.
I don't know how
So-
to handle any of that.
Yeah.
Can I
same.
guess
I
that
do.
the one that is so innovative might be the one that's not Cosmere? Like if there's 3, 2 are Cosmere.
Yeah, probably.
Possible.
Yeah.
I think they'll be more conservative with Cosmere for sure. Yeah.
So first note is above here, I believe Dan says all of the books he talks about in his section are books that he writes and Brandon consults on. None
That's
of
right.
these are Brandon books.
Yep, that's right.
And in his newsletter for December, he occasionally
Yes.
mentions that he's working on things for Dragonsteel, although he usually that's all he can say. He's like,
Yep.
I'm working on Dragonsteel stuff, can't talk about it.
Yep.
In December, he says, I'm working on 3 different projects right now, none of which I can tell you about. 2 of them are finished books that I am revising. One needs much more revision than the other, and one of them is a big, huge book series that is still in the world building and outlining stage. The latter involves several cultures, and he goes on to talk a little bit about the naming schemes that he wants to do.
That's the Welsh one, right?
That's the Welsh one.
Yes. I believe he's said before with Brandon that he's drafting a Cosmere series. That one of the
Okay.
things they're doing is,
Okay.
or at least or doing a world.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he's said that before.
Yeah,
and I'm
he's
not
spoken
hallucinating
about, like,
this out of nowhere.
Doing a big
Uh-huh.
Cosmere world.
So that's
Yeah.
the huge thing, and one
Yeah.
of the Cosmere things. And if it's still in the world building and outlining, then that's not one of the ones in revision. So there is
Sure.
a Cosmere thing in revision
Yeah.
and a non-Cosmere thing in revision.
Sure. Okay,
I
that's
that Dan are
interesting.
writing.
Based on this, if Dan's writing a Cosmere series, potentially the 2 Cosmere books could be like book 1 and 2.
Highly unlikely.
Potentially.
I don't think
there's-
he's even that far along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
on
we are
either of
looking at
them.
Dan Cosmere standalone, Dan Cosmere series, of which he is working on world building / book 1,
Uh-huh.
and Dan non-Cosmere book, which may or may not be so innovative they don't know how to market it.
That's just
Mhm.
I don't know. How could it if it's a book and like so I don't think the huge book series can be the new and an innovative thing then, right?
No.
Right? So
I
it
don't
has
think
to be one of the
Doubt it.
things in revision, which probably means it's a book. So I'm like, how is it so new and innovative? I don't know. Okay.
Like, I think this. I think what this means is it's a branding thing. Like,
Sure.
what genre is this? Like, how do you market this?
Dan does write weird
rather than
things,
is like,
so
how does this function as a product?
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And with maybe like also within Dragonsteel's brand, right? Because
Yeah.
like Dragonsteel has done non-Cosmere stuff, right? And it's
Mhm.
branching out with other authors.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think where my brain went first was some weird, like, I think you are reading it more correctly than I am, which is, marketing is difficult as opposed to product itself is difficult.
Mhm.
Where my brain went was, this is some kind of like really weird book where, like you read a part of the book and then you like have to find someone else to give you the other, like some, or, one of these, a couple of authors over the years have talked about having like different endings to their books. Where
So,
whenever,
Clue movie.
yeah, so Clue movie, yeah,
Okay,
but in
okay,
book form,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's where my brain went. It's probably not what the blog says.
Yeah.
So I guess the innovative thing is the one that needs much more revision, probably. It seems like a safe bet if it's like so new and
If it's a
innovative,
weird
maybe.
thing.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Depends on how far along these
Haven't
things
figured out
are.
how to sell it yet.
Yeah.
It is funny that he had to specify that nothing is Threnody because people have said so much that he should work on a
It is
Threnody
true.
novel.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do appreciate that, that he's saying that, though.
And in hindsight, I would like Dan to become an established Cosmere writer before he tackles Threnody?
Yeah, if at all.
With his own world.
Yeah.
Let him play with his own sandbox.
Yeah, like I want to see him do Cosmere well before I have to see him do like important Cosmere well, and I consider Threnody important.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Anything else we can squeeze out of these cryptic comments? I don't know. I think we're
just like, it's commentary I've seen before. It's like, I like the idea that like the big Cosmere world he's working on is the world the guy from Elsecaller is from.
Sure, yeah, because there was a character there, yeah.
That
Possible,
seems fun.
Yeah.
Tivneri.
Yes.
Yeah, there was some weird stuff there, so that's believable for sure.
That might be all we have on
Dark One novelization.
Oh yeah, what happens to that?
As soon as White Science.
Yeah, nowhere.
I liked that preview chapter.
Cool.
Whatever. No. I was gonna say something that didn't need to be said.
Great, cool.
We do have a small. We do have another very small thing that we could cover before doing things, which is that Brandon refers to Isaac's books as a series. He says Isaac's writing his series,
That's
which
true.
I don't know
That's
if we
interesting.
knew before that the Nikki books, or that he's doing at least a series of books, which I guess may or may not be the Mistborn ones, but he's been working on the one Mistborn one pretty much for what we know, so I would assume it's the same.
I don't think we knew that, but I'm also not entirely surprised.
Yeah, that's quite interesting.
It's a concept that like feels series vibes rather than a standalone vibe.
Because it feels like Indiana Jonesy, Lara Crofty type of thing, pulpy. Hey, you've got a compelling protagonist and you were just throwing them in like different adventures. Like Allomancer Jack is in the same boat.
Episodic vibes, so you can have like different things. Yeah, for sure. That's a good comment. I saw people talking about that.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk about the adaptation stuff that Brandon talked about. And so, Brandon said he is pitching Cosmere, and he did that earlier this year, and people are interested. And so, maybe this next year, he will have to do more Hollywood stuff. And it did say that he would maybe need to pause writing Ghostblood to do that. Now, along with that, there is a comment he made on Reddit that said he's actually excited for Stormlight, which is crazy to me. And he's feeling really good about the 2031 release date for Stormlight 6. It probably wouldn't be sooner, but he feels really good about that. So
yeah.
It definitely seems like he's being cagey about, the Elantris sequels, right? That
less cagey in the state of the Sanderson than
in some mobs
than he has been recently.
Yeah, he wants to do Elantris, but with so much Hollywood work this year and coming up next year, he says, I'm hesitant about committing to getting those ready at the speed I thought likely last year.
But then he does also say in the same state of the Sanderson, like in the Elantris section higher above, that he feels like he's getting close. And he knows he's been saying that for a long time, but he feels like it's time to happen. Which, yeah, I don't know. They kind of contradict each other, but I guess that might really just be like, he feels like he's about to do it, but Hollywood.
I think it's not that contradictory. I think what he's saying is, I'm close to doing the Elantris sequel, but I don't know when this block of time I'm going to be devoting to other media is going to come up. and it's going to come up, this year or next year or, at some point. And then whatever he's working on at the time is going to be shuffled around potentially.
And as Matt said, with talking about State of Sanderson 2013, he's been saying Elantris for a long time. So it's like, it is much closer than it was in 2013. That's for sure. But might be a bit, but I think there's been a lot of discussion, people being worried that adaptations will push books back or having books not exist because Brandon is doing adaptation stuff. And I wanted to, we'll talk about that for a little bit. What do you guys think? What's your feeling?
My stance is Brandon could stop writing tomorrow. Is that likely? No.
No. Not even.
Let Brandon follow his bliss. If that leads him to adaptation land for a period of time and we get slightly fewer books, it is what it is. Would I love more books? Yes. But we're still going to get a lot of books.
I would be very surprised if even in adaptation height, we went under one book of some sort a year, one release of some,
it does seem unlikely.
Especially, they've built the way they're building, Nexus, the event around it. I think Brandon would still put out, and maybe it would be an anthology or there might be
shorter
this
thing.
quote unquote Cosmere drought that we keep thinking might happen, and then never happens.
Maybe.
What is that?
What is that?
But I'm not. Honestly, Brandon, feel free to slow down. I don't have time to keep up with you. So
there are books that I would be sadder to lose than others.
For sure.
But ultimately, I'm not super scared about this specifically pushing them back enough to have anything not happen at all. There are things that might not happen, but I don't know that this would ever be the only thing that Brandon let stop him from writing new books. And I also would not mind if there was a slightly slower pace of books for a while. And I'm excited for adaptations. So,
as a fan, not as a community manager.
That's
sure. Well, I mean,
true.
I'm not as scared of them as a community manager as I think, or not scared, but intimidated. I'm not as intimidated as some are. Though yes, it certainly is going to be a thing to deal with. But also as a fan, I am excited for them.
What do you think, Evgeny?
Yeah, I think I feel like Brandon has been saying, potential Hollywood stuff in State of the Sanderson for the past 3 years.
That's true.
So I am not going to worry in the slightest until we get an announcement that says this thing is happening, and I'm going to need to devote some time to it.
I think that's a really fair place to be in. I think I am a little concerned. I'm not concerned about the first adaptation for this. I'm concerned the 7th one, right? How involved Brandon's going to be. Can he keep up the pace that he's doing? I think there's room to be okay, will some books slip 7 movies in? I don't know. That is kind of Fantasyland for sure, but I feel like Brandon wants a lot of control and oversight, and maybe we don't know how the balance is going to go with that. And I don't think Brandon truly knows, right? Because it hasn't happened. So I think we will need to see and explore. I imagine by movie 2 or 3 or whatever's happening, season 3 or whatever, Brandon's kind of got a thing down for how much work he can devote to that. And that he'll need to figure out. But I think Brandon is just like he's a workaholic guy. Like he will grind to get the books done. Like he will absolutely do that.
Yeah.
So and like maybe Elantris sequels are just going to be a bit later, like between Stormlight books, maybe. Like I know he said, Cyberpunk, Mistborn, like are Elantris sequels more likely to happen than Cyberpunk Mistborn? Like maybe, who knows? I don't think we need to get super worried until there's an adaptation because, we've had promising starts before, right? So.
And an adaptation could mean one season or one movie or it's very, there's a wide variance on what that could mean too,
yeah, it doesn't have to mean Game of Thrones and Brandon is busy working on that for like a really long time, right? We
for
don't know.
a decade or something. Yeah.
Brandon is still going to write. He can't, walk around without writing a thing. So like there will be things, but I don't know, maybe the really hard things in Stormlight. But he'll be itching to tell stories for sure. So. Do we want to go through the brief things that we had on adaptations here? Just like going through like kind of how
rapid fire.
Yeah, kind of rapid fire.
Like I mean, as a summary, basically nothing is very far.
Nothing's very far. Yeah.
He said there's like promising developments, encouraging developments.
Snapshot was close, but then it got
nothing much. Yeah, Snapshot's the only thing that's like really a change.
Yeah, so
we are
so upset.
But
he did talk about receiving offers for animation, and he's not opposed to animation, or at least not as opposed as he was like a few years ago. I think Arcane has really changed his mind.
I think Arcane's really changed his mind. Yes.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, he knew about Arcane then too. I think his thing has always been that like you need a lot of budget for that.
Yes.
And also there are probably going to be fewer people watching it in kind of the way that he is looking for when he is making adaptations, looking for like something that people can share with their parents and get other people into who wouldn't normally get into books.
Sure.
So like I think those things are kind of still on his radar. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Yes, like to your point, it's just like Arcane and like Legends of Vox Machina, the Mighty Nine, like are showing him there has been more of a shift in the culture for like that.
Invincible.
He's seeing this as more likely now.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is,
previous.
I'm not sure that this has changed in the last couple of years because those shows have been here for a while and he has known and mentioned them for a while. But his thing, like he has said before that like...
But like I think this may have been on the spoiler scream yesterday, like specifically noting like Arcane and Legends of Vox Machina as like, like seeing these, like there is more of a shift making this more likely.
He does seem more positive.
Yes, he's been aware of them existing for a while. Like he is now seeing a cultural shift.
Yeah. And
as a result
I don't know. I don't know that I agree that that's new, but sure.
Well, I think it's what we're like. Brandon's thinking on it is new. Like,
no, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Is I don't think I agree that that he's changed a lot about this particular thing, but we don't have to.
Well, we are all going off of vibes.
Yeah,
so.
and so Tress got an offer, but the budget wasn't there, so they didn't go with that.
Yeah.
Tress animated would be great, though. That would be good. They said there was going to be a series, not a movie. I was like, I don't know.
I can easily see Tress series, right?
Yeah,
just sailing all the seas.
Short, maybe.
My dream is still Ghibli Tress.
I mean, it's gotta be right.
Sure, of course.
Like Ghibli, and like they've adapted lots of English language books.
That would be like wild. Actually,
Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah,
like Howl's Moving Castle is part of a series.
I actually didn't know that. That was an adaptation.
I do want to shout
Yeah,
out.
no.
This is not like the exact place for this, but if you haven't seen the London Comic Con, like MCM, got a little animated like teaser announcement thing with like Vin running across the rooftops of London. That was, obviously it was like 20 seconds of animation or whatever, but it looked great. It was a lot of fun. I loved seeing animated Vin. So appetite exists.
Yeah.
The other thing I think with Brandon's goals, like he wants to position Cosmere adaptations to be as much in the lane of like a Game of Thrones type thing as possible, right? Like I think his ambition, like he recognizes that might not happen, but his ambition towards
he wants a big cultural thing, right?
Spread.
Yeah.
And I think we've also seen why some of his thinking, might be evolving on different issues. Is we've seen Wheel of Time and Rings of Power both not be Game of Thrones.
Yeah, true.
Right? Like
landscape's different.
Not to get into it, but Wheel of Time could have been, and then Amazon did what Amazon does.
Depends who gets the thing, right? That's kind of. I'm sure Brandon is keeping that in mind if Amazon's in the running, right?
It's so unpredictable. Like you
can't predict.
Yeah.
Just wanted to also mention Skyward Show is like they're writing the pilot. That's fun. They're showrunners. It's pretty cool. I think a Skyward Show could actually be quite fun. And I think that actually could work for the series well, because you could go like Spencer stuff and go to Skyward Flight stuff. Like I think that could actually be really good, actually.
Yeah.
I think Skyward has the kind of mainstream appeal that I imagine the Snapshot adaptation was like compelling for. Where like because something like Stormlight is really, really difficult to pitch because it's such a complex thing. But hey, sci-fi spacey thing, YA protagonist,
girl and
AI
her starfighter,
ship.
You kind of get it, right? Yeah.
Boy and his dragon, but girl and her starship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then also, video games. There's nothing happening, but the rights used to be presumably with DMG, right? I think it was like they were with the movie rights, and now Brandon is trying something else, and so he's like, hey, if you're a decision maker, talk to this person that represents me. So like that would be cool. That could be cool.
Yeah. And it sounded like he is speaking with like AAA developers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we got a Mistborn video game, like AAA video game, before we got any kind of live, screen adaptation.
I could believe that. But I mean, video games take a really long time to make these days, so maybe not. But like, I could see one being announced and there being like real progress before like a film has that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perhaps.
It's like video games take like 7 years to make now, right? Or something insane. At least like a big one.
Some kind of like, open world or limited open world, third person, Dishonored, Horizon, God of War, like that type of action adventure thing. I can easily see that.
100%. Absolutely.
Look forward to when we talk about this again, talking spoiler stream Wobbs, because he did talk about this.
He did talk about that.
Yeah,
it's true. Any other adaptation stuff you want to talk about? This is the part we'd cut out of the episode, but you're going to get it live. That's how it goes. I just cut all the us discussing what we want to do next.
Cut all the trans people.
No. The transitions.
17 Shard transphobic.
No. Why would you do this to me on a stream? How dare you?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay. Look, hey, Evgeny, it took a lot of restraint to not say that. Well, I'm going to do it now. Chat, make sure when Evgeny says Kelsier, you put K Daddy in the chat and in the YouTube comments from now on.
How did that get to you?
I have it from a very good source that Evgeny likes this a lot.
Is it Bonnie? Do I blame Bonnie for this?
Well, I was next to them while they were talking about this.
Okay.
Bonnie was also there. I hear Evgeny really likes that. So remember that for Mistborn era, future Mistborn stuff.
He has a name.
Yeah, and it's K Daddy. Cool. Do we want to talk about the
Damn it, Jules.
official release schedule then and kind of wrap this? I think that's
We kind of already.
We talked about 2026, but let's talk about maybe the future stuff.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do a quick overview.
Yeah. So after, Fires of December in 2026, summer 2027 is Riftwake 2. So that's actually kind of interesting because if September is the first Riftwake book, summer 2027, that's actually like 9-ish months.
Less than a year.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
We'll see about that. I would not be surprised if they do like a year apart.
Yeah. Or like a year and 3 months or something, right?
Give or take a little bit.
It just can't be in the month of December proper.
Nope.
That's the only month it cannot
Ghostbloods,
be.
baby.
Yep. And then the only other things on the schedule are just December 2028, Ghostbloods 1, 2029, Ghostbloods 2, and then 2023, Ghostbloods 3. And then again, Brandon did say on Reddit, he feels good about Stormlight 6 being 2031. Which is still weird to say that aloud, but hey,
Sounds fake.
Yeah.
And then undeclared, he says Horneater in the next couple of years.
He said that he's getting more excited about Horneater, and we will talk about that on the spoiler stream mobs as well. Because
who cares? We know the plot already.
Well, hey,
but I guess, what are people's candidates for stuff that is not on this schedule that we think is most likely to come out?
I mean, at this stage, isn't it going to be random crap that we've never heard of and cannot possibly predict on this show?
I think random crap.
Random crap. I think random crap is a prediction. Like, I think that's a valid.
And I don't want to say that it's crap. I'm very excited for December. But it's just random things that we can't pick out from the list, right?
The expect the unexpected is top of the list.
Yeah, 100%.
Of anything else, I think the most likely is Elantris sequels.
Yeah.
More than Horneater?
Not
Horneater could be 2027, yes. Right? Like, I could believe Brandon cranks out a novella, right?
Horneater's kind of a given in my head.
Yeah.
But I would I think he'll, like, based on the state of Sanderson, I think Horneater might come out before the Elantris sequels.
I think that's...
I think that's true.
Yeah, I believe that. I buy it.
Kite magic.
Of, like, the other stuff, like, Elantris is, like, the main deal. What I want him to do is Rhythmist too.
Yeah, that's...
I don't think that's likely.
I don't think he's writing that. Likely. I think he's outsourcing that.
Yeah. Yes, I want him to actually find somebody and have it written.
That's I don't know about that one. I would like that. Rhythmatist is very good, but it is honestly impossible to recommend. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I disagree. You can recommend something just because it has a cliffhanger at the end doesn't mean that it's not worth it as is.
I can't recommend
I would only recommend it. I would recommend it with a caveat. Like, anyone I'm recommending it to, I would say...
Be prepared that you will never see
it's
the
like,
ending of this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like trying to recommend King Killer Chronicles. It's like, it's really hard to do.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Book 3, no guarantee when or if we're getting.
On the plus side...
Is History 2 dead? We don't know anything about History 2.
It's not on the list.
Not mentioned.
Yeah. I think he talked about it last time or something like that. So I wouldn't say dead, but
it's gonna end up being a surprise thing.
Yeah.
History is not secret. History is not in 2024. So
for release, I don't think Secret History, I think Secret History, if it's going to be released anywhere, would be amongst Ghost Bloods.
Yeah.
It can't be before. It's during that time frame.
I don't
for
think.
Sure.
Yeah, we're not getting it before Ghost Bloods 1 at the Yeah.
And I mean, I remember Brandon's original schedule that he was doing it where December Ghost Bloods and then the summer would be an Elantris sequel. And I'm like, that does sound like an insane release schedule. So if Elantris sequels are a little bit further, that seems fine. I think we'll be doing fine if there's only one big...
I feel like that's going to happen unless they get interspersed between Stormlights.
Well, I mean, I guess it could easily be kind of like how he did Era 2 between Stormlights. He could be doing an Elantris sequel between Stormlights.
Yeah.
And so Cyberpunk might die for that, but probably Elantris sequels are more important than Cyberpunk. If we're thinking of the tier list of things Brandon needs to complete, I think Cell's probably
he feels more excited for Cyberpunk than he does for Elantris sequels. Though.
Brandon is
Samara, my shot in the dark guess is there will be another Hoyd Apprentice protagonist secret project released before Stormlight 6. Because technically that is another mini series that is forming within the secret project.
Starling sequel?
Hoyd Apprentice stories.
Starling sequel?
Yes,
well, and that
Starling
really,
actual Starling backstory.
That would also be where probably Emperor's Soul fits even better as an apprentice story.
Yeah, but
because I would see Shy as
more of a nemesis.
But she's learning from him.
What didn't Brandon say he had an actual idea for an Emperor's Soul sequel? So that could be a random thing he does.
He does have one, yes.
Yeah, so that's possible. Here's my theory, guys. Brandon loves the space age. He just has to be very careful. Give it a few years and Brandon will be like, oh, what about this space age thing? And he's like, hey, Starling sequel? What if we do another Starling adventure? That is plausible, I would say.
Oh, we are certainly seeing more of Starling and Dusk.
And so it's just if there's enough space for him having not written, don't worry about this sentence structure, this is bad. If it's been a while since he's done a space age thing, he'll be like, I should do a space age thing. Isn't that fun? Yeah. So that's my thought. But I think it's going to be random stuff. Horn Eater's a given. But I like an apprentice
somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't really have any thoughts about what's likely.
Yeah.
Besides what you guys have said. I have hopes. Of maybe we'll get some of these things someday, but
that's a 19. That means Cyberpunk.
Wow, high likelihood.
19 means Cell sequels and Cyberpunk. It's gonna happen, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I want to do another poll.
Okay.
Does anyone think there is any chance that the listed release for 2027 is the only release in 2027?
No.
Is there...
Does anyone in this chat believe that? There's no way.
Possibly if we're talking about only Brandon release, though that's still definitely not for sure. But if we're counting co-authors as well, absolutely not even a sliver.
There, at the very least, there's going to be
that Brandon doesn't do something.
The only question is what else is getting released in 2027.
Yeah, that's the real question, right? There's presumably going to be.
Is it going to be important enough that I need to go to Nexus and break my every other year streak?
You need to go anyway. It's not about the book that's happening there. It's about everyone being cool and hanging out and stuff.
Yeah, but money's hard.
That's expensive, particularly next year, where I booked my hotel and it's A lot more than last year.
Yeah. I wouldn't know about expensive. I definitely didn't make good calls. We don't need to talk about that.
If you don't look at your bank account, it doesn't count.
That's true. What could possibly go wrong? Evgeny says, don't look at your credit card statement. That's the moral of the story.
Nope. It's just fake zeros and ones.
Yep. Cool. Well, I think that's about everything. I just wanted to talk about our Shardcast schedule. We're wrapping up, and then we'll get out of here. So here's what's going to happen.
State of the Shard.
Briefly.
Shard. No.
I just built the schedule last night. I'm like, oh, this gets us through April. So yeah, we can talk about it a little bit. So what's next? This is our last Shardcast for the year. January 4th, that'll be the next Shardcast, and that will be a Who's That Cosmere character episode, because we're not doing that here. We've been going for too long. And
Ignore the fact that in that episode, we say this is the last Shardcast.
That's fine. I didn't count the weeks correctly. You can blame me. I told Ben the wrong thing. That's fine. Unfortunately, we didn't record Fires of December for December, but then we will also have a Fires of December podcast in January, obviously. And then the last Sunday of January, Diceborn Season 2 is coming, guys. So if you are Diceborn fans,
it's finally coming.
It's been a long time. So
let's talk about new but old of design.
Yeah.
I'm sure people will really appreciate with the Cosmere RPG hype that we're using the Mistborn Adventure game system. I think they'll really appreciate it.
That's great branding on our part.
We gotta wrap up the mag before we move on to the MRPG.
Yeah.
And to be fair to us, the filming on this was pre-Cosmere RPG.
It's true, but that I expect that's what I'll get YouTube comments about. So what's going to happen? We're going to have 8 episodes every other week. It's going to go off Shardcast week. There's going to be a hiatus, and then there's going to be more episodes after that. And so we'll see when that other half comes. So we're trying to make the editing sustainable. I think,
yes. Yeah, the 8 episodes, I think, takes us to first Sunday in May.
Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Yep. So that's what's going on. And so then after Fires of December Shardcast, we are going to have Nexus swabs. I think we'll probably have another topic. Then we'll have spoiler stream wobs. And if I've calculated this right, this will get us to April. So I hope you like Words of Brandon episodes, because I do. And so we got to pad some time before Fires of December, guys. We got to get to next December.
I feel like
that won't be hard.
Sorry, I didn't look. Do you have the spoiler stream wobs as 2 episodes or as 1?
Oh, spoiler stream wobs is 3 episodes, my friend. I think that is appropriate. Yeah. And then after JordanCon, Brandon's going to be at JordanCon, so I'll have JordanCon wobs. Hey, living good with wob episodes, guys. Yeah. So I hope
we
like that.
We may need to do some other episode around JordanCon.
Yes, we'll have to do that.
Prep for JordanCon wobs.
Yes. But no.
That is literally months away.
I don't like thinking about the passage of time, just like Brandon, and that next year is 2026. And I don't want to think about Stormlight 6 being in 2031. Don't want to think about the next decade, Brandon. That sucks, actually. But
hey, it feels like I just got used to typing 2025 on my documents.
Genuinely, by November, I'm like, okay, it's 2025. I get it. I'm like, oh no, but it's ending. I hate that.
This year absolutely blinked past.
I hit my head twice, guys. Twice. I hit my head coming back from Dragonsteel. I feel like I'm an idiot and I need a helmet at all times at this stage. The second hit was not as bad.
You keep bonking your head.
The one in May, I was concussed for a month. So, anywho, so that's what we're gonna be doing. You can find us on 17shard.com for all your news, discussion, theories, and fun that you could want. Although, I'll be totally honest, not that many news articles. And by not that many, I don't know if we did a single one in 2025. I'll be totally honest.
We did Diceborn.
was a news article.
Okay. But that's a self-announcement. That's not like a news.
Yeah.
So if you want news, you can go to Invested in the Cosmere, and because that blog is like they're doing great work there. So we'll shout them out there. But
I'm not a college student anymore, so I'm not writing news articles anymore.
That's the real thing. When you get real jobs and like relationships and things, it's like, oh no, I can't just grind through editing a Shardcast on Wednesday to post on Thursday.
Well, unfortunately, we, I mean, in some way, fortunately, in some ways, unfortunately, we do a lot. And the more we do, the more all the other things that we do suffer for it.
Yeah, for sure. But you can come to our Discord as well, discord.gg/17shard. Lots of people there, lots of excitement about the all the WOBs that we got last night and at Nexus, and about the state of Sanderson, so you can go check that out there, or our forums, of course. You can support our Patreon at patreon.com/17shard for as little as $1 a month. Wow. And you can vote on that art that Argent showed off, which is spectacular, honestly. So we commissioned Silverlight, and that turned out great. Lots of good commissions. And you can just go to Patreon and look at the pretty art if you want. And you get all of our behind-the-scenes stuff. Also, if you want, you could put a super thanks down below if you want. I don't think anyone did a super chat, and we're about to close, so maybe don't do that one. I mean, you could.
That's perfectly all right.
Yeah, that's fine. So you can support us.
I don't even know how to do that. I got some experience from watching the stream.
Okay, well, sometimes when I'm watching a stream, I'll randomly tap a button, and it's like, hey, do you want to do a super? I'm like, no, I don't want to pay money, but... Anyway, thank you all for coming to this. Audio listeners, this will be up probably tomorrow on audio. And we will see you all in 2026, which, yes, I hate that, but we'll see you then for some Who's That Cosmere character and Fires of December. Nice. Thanks, Evgeny. I appreciate that. I like that Google will be taking a large percentage of that single dollar. I like that a lot, actually. So.
Look, I'll throw away $1 for a bit.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you know. Awesome. So we will see you all next time.
Bye. Roll dice as I say goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye.
So many dice. Bye.